Yes, Mr. Baloyi.
As you could please, my lord, we confirm appearances on behalf of the state.
Okay.
As it is the court, my lord, I confirm my appearance on behalf of Mr. Sibia and Mr. Mnisi.
As the court pleases, my lord, I confirm my appearance on behalf of Mr. Ntanzi.
Okay.
As it pleases the court, my lord, I still confirm my appearance on behalf of accused number 4, Mr. Mnube, and Mr. Mapisa, standing in for my colleague, Advocate Mshololo, in respect of accused number 5, Mr. Ntuli. Thank you.
Yeah, so yes, morning, good morning. Noted, my lord.
Thank you, Brigadier Gininda. Yesterday, we dealt with Exhibit J, the identity kit, and Exhibit DD4A, the extracts of the photos from the memory card of accused number 2. And that was in light of the proposition that was put to Mr. Dumela Madlala on the 8th of August 2023 that accused number 2 has never had a beard or an O-shaped beard. If we can then continue dealing with Exhibit DD4B,
Yes.
still on that proposition that was made by accused number 2's legal representative.
Okay, my lord.
What is the Skumake Malana, not Tavalu Fagaza Tebukona, and a Pambi Kusenkantolote, Kuluma by Jelakona by Kulunio, Kutumilo Matalagi, Lagati Konagi, Umsola is Vilagaza, Ben Chebeki, and Lounge like a Nagasu Shuchi O shape Piloyoge, what much is Kubeke Kalapoge, Malana Nota Balu Tombe as Konaka, Kusenkantoloke, Abai Tubula, and a Paga Chukumulaki.
My lord, indeed, yes. So, photo number 1 of exhibit DD4 shows accused number 2.
DD4B.
DD4B. My apologies, my lord. Yes, exhibit DD4B. Photo number 1. It shows accused number 4 with an O-shaped beard, and it seems, my lord, is coming from page 954 of his downloads, my lord.
Sorry, mention accused number 4.
Number 2, my lord. My sincere apology. Not number 4. Yeah. Accused number 2, my lord.
But even Atufagazi at the Mtata could make my next tomb pictures Konaga, Lapoga, and a Pagati Kumibuki Soga DT4P, what in Libona and a Pagatis Tombele, Nasogati, Umundo Konaga, Tombele Sige, Umuntu, Wambizo to Sola with Lapo, and Tanzige. At his Tomesaki, food Tibas Tubula as a castle Paliola Penzanzige, they to page 954.
And then on page 2, my lord, it also shows accused number 2. The page number is 2358, and it shows accused 2. The beard is oval as well, my lord. He's wearing a yellow t-shirt with a black hat with a triangle, a white triangle in front.
Ati lapo my next to Mrs. Billy gets Kolapoga, Tunsola was Billy, Futo Konaga, Lapo, Simia, Umbala was Ascogile, Galapoge, Food Tineskipas, Cogile, Skippers, Logos, and Esnumbala or Yellow, Food at Tinchebaki in Loundy.
My lord, then the next page is page number 3, and it reflects at the bottom of the picture 2378. Accused 2, I can see that is accused 2. He's wearing this red hoodie with blue color at the bottom. The picture is not clear, my lord, for me to make sense of the shape of the beard, my lord. That's the picture. So I'm unable. I can see that it is accused 2. I can see the hood and the color, but in terms of the clear visibility of the oval, the shape of the beard, my lord, it's not clear, my lord.
athi futhi lapho kusithombe sesibili isithombe sesithathu ke lapho ke singaphansi kwekhasi lapho ke 2378 ke lapho ke athi umsolo wesibili igqoke ke hoodie ke na futhi hoodie khona isigqoko futhi inembala emibili ke umbala oqala ke umbala obomvu bese umbala ke lapho umbala ke omnyama ke lapho ke athi umsolo wesibili otshengakala kule sithombe leso kepha kakhulu ukubona kahle hle ukuthi ngabe isikhanyiso sobuso bakhe besinjani ke lapho ke ngoba athi intshebe le khona kule sithombe lesi ayicacile ibhange ngendlela iqondile.
Now, page number 4, my lord, it is accused 2 still. He's still wearing the same top hoodie.
Sorry, Sima, Leonard friend has it up.
Sorry, my lord. May I quickly approach accused number 2? Okay. Thank you, my lord. My lord, the reason why I approached Mr. Ntanzi was to reconfirm whether the photos in Exhibit DD4B are his, because previously, under the evidence in chief and cross-examination of Warrant Officer Ndlovu, we did indicate that indeed these are his pictures, except the pictures on page 17, 18, and 19, which depict Mr. Sibia and the ones with the bullets at the back. So this process now for Brigadier Gininda to re-go again picture by picture, my lord, it's repetitive, it's superfluous, my lord, as the court pleases.
As the court please, my lord, it's the evidence of the investigating officer, my lord, that other witnesses might have testified, but it's important that Brigadier Gininda, as the investigating officer, should also place the evidence on record, my lord. We will not dwell too much on the photos, my lord.
Okay.
Kade ngicela ke uMelkhizeni ke umnomzana ofakazi okhona ke ngaphambi kwenkosi enkantolo umnomzana uBrigadier Gininda Khizeni akhulume ngodaba lwezithombe lezi ke ngoba thi vele senekuvusile sokuvumile ke lapho umnomzana uNtanzi ithombe lezi zakho ke kepha ngaphandle kwesithombe lapho ke se17 18 19 kuthi akusona ke zakho ke bathi futhi okhona ke abofakazi ade bekhona nabe khuluma phecelezi ngodaba lwezithombe lezi ke mangathi umshushise kubalekile ukuthi umnomzana babuBrigadier Gininda naye njengomseshi wecala kakhulu phecelezi ngodaba lolu lwezithombe lezi ekhona la ngaphambi kwenkosi enkantolo njengomseshi wecala.
Then, my lord, if one looks at picture number 4, at the bottom is marked page 2379. One sees accused number, it is the accused number 2. He seems to be wearing the same clothing that is on page 3. According to my view, my lord, the only thing that has changed is the angle. So photo number on page 4, the picture was taken almost like from the top, and because of that angle, my lord, one can see that the beard is oval, so it's a round beard, my lord, on page 4.
Athi ke lapho ufakazi mana nesithombe lesi sesithathu ke lapho ke singaphansi kwekhasi lapho ku 2378 athi isithombe esingacacile ba kepha ke kuyajengakala ukuthi umsolo wesibili ke lokhona ngaphakathi kwisithombe leso ke noma okuwumuntu kulesithombe lesi ke athi futhi ingubo egqokile lezi bekakhuluma ngazo kwisithombe lesi be athi igqoke khona ke hoodie bese no hoodie enombala obomvu futhi nombala ke omnyama la kuyona ke kepha athi mana nesikhanyiso sobuso bakhe sicacile ibhange indlela iqondile lapho ke futhi athi nentshebe lena akayibonile kepha kuma ngabe buka isithombe sesifoke ke lapho ke athi isithombe angasho ukuthi basithathe lapha umuntu okhona isikhathi bathathe isithombe lapho ke usuthi ucamera iselfone be lapha phezulu ke na ngaphezulwana ke na ke ngoba sicace ibhake sona ngoba ishape yakhona ke ishintshile athi futhi gqoke ihoodie eyodwa nomuntu okhona kule sithombe lesi sesithathu ke lapho ke hoodie enembala emibili umbala obomvu futhi nombala ke lapho komnyama ke athi uma buka isikhanyiso sobuso bakhe kathi lentshebe eround ke ikhona ke kulomuntu othizeni okulesithombe.
My lord, then Page 5, it is the similar dressing that you find in page 3 and 4 of accused. The face depicted there, it is accused number 2, and one can see on page 5 the oval shape of the beard as well, my lord. And it is on page of his download 2382.
Athi futhi kusithombe sesi5 ke lapho ke athi umuntu oyedwa komsolo wesibili ke lapho ke futhi isithombe simasicacile bha ngoba ke uma sibuke isithombe lesathi sona ke isithombe sivelile kahle hle lapho ke futhi siveze ushuthi yena ke usiveze ucishe umzimba wakhe wonkana lapho ke futhi gqoke ingubo ezizodwa nalomuntu okhona ngalana kule sithombe lesi sasifo lapho ke okumsolo wesibili. Futhi athi isithombe sakhe basithwebula noma basidownloada ngaphakathi kocingo bese inombolo zekhasi lapho ke u2382.
Then on page 6, my lord, it is accused 2 still again wearing the same clothes, the hoodie top that is depicted on page 3, 4, 5, and then on 6, he is smiling. One can see the round shape beard, my lord. The hoodie top is still the same, the red and blue one, my lord.
Athi lapho ke kusithombe sesi6 ke lapho ke uye futhi umsolo wesibili ke lapho ugqoke ke lengubo eyodwa ne kuyihudi enombala obomvu futhi nombala omnyama ke athi futhi ubuso balomuntu kuvele kahle hle ngendlela ekahle ke lapho ke futhi athi amamatheka shothi yasmile ke.
Then on page 7, my lord, it is accused number 2 again, the facial. He's wearing a reddish top, but one cannot see the hood at the back. He seems to be lying on the bed or on top of something. One can see, my lord, I can see the oval shape of his beard, my lord. And the page number of the download is 2526.
Athi futhi kusithombe sesikhona kwikhasi lesi7 ke lapho ke sesomsolo wesibili kokhona lapho ngaphakathi athi futhi ugqoke ke lapho ke ingubo ngathi iqesha nombala ngathi ubomvu umbala wakhona kwele ngubo leyo ke athi futhi ujakala njengomuntu athi mhlawumbe leli phezu kombhede noma hlezi phezu kwento ethize ke lapho ke athi futhi ayibona ke intshebe lo muntu lounge la kuyena ke ebusweni bakhe.
Now page number 8, my lord, it's the picture of accused 2. He's got a gray hoodie with some stripes. I think it's marked, although one cannot see the whole sentence, but it looks like it's Los Angeles. But in between, his hand is up and he's wearing a watch. The hoodie is over his head. The mouth, my lord, is partly covered, so it's difficult to see really the completeness of the beard, my lord, because it's covered. You can see a part of his face insofar as the position of the beard is concerned, but not completely. But the face, my lord, is that of accused number 2.
Athi lapho ke kusithombe sikhona ke lapho ke ngaphansi kwekhasi lesi8 lapho kathi umsolo wesibili ke okhona ke lapho ke futhi igqoke ke lekhona ilokozane hoodie enombala ogray ke lapho ke futhi isandla sakhe usibeke la kena ke umlomeni wakhe ke lapho ke futhi athi akaboni umlomo ucishe wavala umlomo wakhe ngokuthabeka isandla sakhe kumlomo wakhe wonkana athi kepha ke umuntu khona unewash la kena ke kepha kakhulu ukubona ke malana nodaba lwentshebe ukuthi ngabe intshebe iyajakala kahle hle noma ijakala kahle.
The watch, my lord, it looks like a digital watch, black with red or maroon dots on top, my lord.
Athi ke malana newash yathi ngalo ijakala njengewash enombala ke obomvu lapho athi futhi digital watch athi umbala obomvu khona ke futhi nombala ke omnyama noma mhlawumbe umbala ngathi grayish mawubhekile.
Now, my lord, page number 4 is the picture of the accused 2, and it comes from his download number 2617. He's wearing a white, looks like a vest, a white vest, lying on a pillow. Could be a couch, my lord. One can see the mustache and the beard, but on the side it's not oval. So what is visibly clear is actually the mustache as well as the beard at the bottom, my lord.
Athi lapho ke ebikhasi kusithombe sesi9 ke lapho athi umsolo wesibili okhona lapho futhi igqoke ke ivest emhlophe nombala omhlophe ke lapho ke athi futhi leli phezu kombhedo lapho khona ke umsamo lapha alele khona ke athi futhi unentshebe lapho kumkepha intshebe khona akusiyo intshebe elounge uma ngabe mbuka ngokwesikhangiso lesavele ngaso lesithombe lesi.
Just put the page number again on record.
The page number of the downloads, my lord, is 2617.
But ikhasi lesi isikhasi lesithombe lesi ke 2617 okuyinombolo.
The one at the bottom?
The one at the bottom is page 9, my lord.
But ikhasi akhona senzanga ikhasi lesi9 lapho.
Then the next page number, my lord, is page 10. That is at the bottom, and the download page number is 2645. It's a picture of accused wearing a white sporty. I cannot see the shape of the beard, my lord, because of the position of his face facing downwards. He's wearing a blue T-shirt, a blue T-shirt and a black trouser with brown shoes. He is also wearing a watch. It looks digital, but it's a little bit far from to make proper observation. But it's black, and on top it seems to be white, my lord.
Wathi lapho kusithobe sesithenike lapho kathi umsolo wesibili ke ukhona futhi isithobe lesidownloada kucingo lwakhe ke futhi ikhasi libhaliwe lapho ngenombolo ke bathi 2645 bathi umuntu okhona lapho kulesithombe lesike umsolo wesibili ugqoke esimhlophe lapho ke kepha kubuke phansi manje kakhulu ubona malana nezinto ezikhona kulobuso balomuntu ke lapho ke kepha ke malana nengubo ayigqokile athi ugqoke iskipa esinombala blue futhi nesikhindi mhlawumbe noma ibhlukhu elinombala ke omnyama ke lapho ke necathulo engathi mhlawumbe brown ke ngokumbala ke lapho ke bese kufake iwashi ke phakayi kakhulu ubona kahle hle iwashi ukuthi ngabe iwashi enjani ke ngokumbala.
The next page, my lord, is page 11, and the download number is page 2834. It's a photo of accused number 2. He's wearing a white cap, a T-shirt with striped, my lord. So there's two colors. It looks like it's brown and blue, but there are stripes also, my lord. I can see the mustache insofar as the beard part is concerned, and the beard, but one cannot see the sides properly, my lord.
Wathi kusithombe esikhona lapho kule khasi lesi11 ngaphasi basidownload lapho ke ngokwenombolo ku page 2834 bathi umsolo wesibili ke okhona ke lapho ke futhi ugqoke isigqoko esisigqoko ke esimhlophe ke lapho ke bese ugqoka ke skippers ushuthi golf t-shirt egqokile lapho ke bathi nembala ngathi mhlawumbe igray bese neminye futhi bemnyama ke bese eminye ba blue kepha usuthi ehamba ngokwama line noma ama scribes.
Then the next page number, my lord, is page 12, and the download page it's 2847. It's the same picture of accused number 2 wearing the same T-shirt with stripes, the blue, and so it looks like it's a light blue and a dark blue T-shirt with stripes, my lord. Now on this picture, one can see that the beard is oval. It's more clearer because the angle of the picture is not the same as the one in 11, so it's an oval-shaped beard.
Lapho ke ngaphansi kwesithombe sesi12 ke lapho athi badownload lapho ngokwenombolo zekhasi ke lapho athi page 2847 bathi umsalo wesibili futhi isithombe sisitacibha ngoba ke uyakhona ukubona malana nobuso bakhe ukuthi ubuso wakhe bunjani ke lapho ke futhi unetshebe ke eround khona ke la kuyena ke futhi mustache khona ivelile kahle wathi ke pha ulele phezulu kombhedo ke lapho futhi ugqoke iskipa lesifana nalesi esikhona kulesithombe lesi ses11 lapho ke wathi imibala iskipa lesi ke usuthi ublue bese umunye umbala khona ku light blue bese eminye ke umbala nje stripe lines usho ukuthi ke imbala yalama stripe lines imnyama ke ngokumbala noma iblue.
Then the next page number, my lord, is page 13, and the download page it's 2850. It's a picture of accused number 2. He's wearing a maroon, it's like a mixed color, maroon and little bit of white. Some shirt, my lord, a short sleeve shirt. I can see the oval beard. His mouth is open and he's wearing a cap that looks to be brownish and not brownish, cream white in color on the inside.
Wathi lapho kuyothume lesi ses13 ke badownload ngaphansi kwekhasi lapho ke ngokwesamanga ngale nombolo elandelayo ke lapho ku 2 8 5 ke wathi umuntu okhona lapho ke umsoro wesibili ke futhi ajangala kahle umuntu ke uvule umlomo wakhe lapho ke kepha ke netshebe yajangakala la kena bese malana nengubo noma nombala wengubo ogqokile lapho ke bathi lokuzana ishirt ke lapho ke nombala athi mhlawumbe uqeshe wa maroon noma mhlawumbe umaroon yebo bese kuba nombala omhlophe la kuona ke ngaphakathi ke bathi futhi ugqoke ke cap umuntu akhona kuma buka cap yakhona ke la ngaphakathi ke ngaphansi bathi nombala ke o-cream.
My lord, the next page is page 14, and the download page number is 2852. It is accused, it's a photo of accused number 2. He is topless at the, you can only say that one can only see the top part of his body. He's topless, he's not wearing anything. I can see the mustache as well as the beard, my lord. It's a bit difficult to see the side as to whether it's oval or not, but the mustache is clearly visible as well as the beard, my lord.
Bathi malana nesithombe esikhona kulezi khasi les 14 ke lapho ke kuyinombolo ke bathi sona basithubula noma basidownloada ngaphansi kwekhasi lapho ke ehamba ngale nombolo elandelayo 2852 bathi isithombe umsolo wesibili sakamsolo wesibili ke lapho ke liyathatha khona ke umzimba khona ngasenhla ke futhi bathi akagqokile lutho ke lapho lesithombe lesike futhi intsheba khona kuyajengakala kule sithombe lesi.
The next page number, my lord, is page 1515, and the download page is 2853, and the photo is that of accused number 2, wearing the same short sleeve t-shirt that is contained in photo 13, and the same cap, but one can see the top part of the cap, that inside it's cream white, on top it looks like maroonish with an emblem that seems to be yellow, my lord. He's wearing a watch, and then I can see the left side. I can see the mustache, the bottom side, and the left side of his beard that is connected. I just can't see the right hand side to identify it as oval. But insofar as the mustache, the left hand side from where I'm standing, as well as the beard, it is connected, my lord.
Athi lapho ke lesithombe lesi 15 ke lapho ke basidownloade ngaphansi kwe-page lapho ke 2853 bathi umsolo wesibili kokhona lapho ke futhi ugqokile isikipha esisodwana lesi akade asigqokile kule sithombe esikhona lapho ke likhasi lesi 13 ke lapho ke futhi umbala wale hembe aligqokile bathi nombala ke lapho maroon bese laba nombala ke omhlophe ngaphakathi kulona ke bathi ugqoke ke cap la ke ne cap la mawubheka la ngaphansi ke cap yakhona ke bathi lokuzana cream white ngokumbala ke bese la ngaphezulu ke bathi brown ke futhi ine emblem enayo la kuyona ke la ngaphambili bathi intshebe ke khona lapho kuyena kepha kakhulu ubona ukuthi kahle intshebe khona ke abe mhlawumbe intshebe eround noma kuyona ke intshebe eround besathi la ame khona ke yena ke khona uma abuka isithombe lesike uyabona intshebe khona ke ngalana ke yehla bese ifundi ibuye futhi la ngenzansi ke yena ke lesithombe lesike futhi wathi ke une wash agqokile lo muntu lo lesithombe lesi.
The next page number, my lord, is page 16. And the download page is 2856. It's a photo of accused number 2. He's smiling. He's wearing a cap with a beige or cream inside, not at the bottom. He's wearing a black hoodie with insignias in front, both on the left and the right hand side. I can't just see, my lord, what is written, but it's a black hoodie. And I can see the beard, my lord, as well as the mustache. I can't just see clearly the sides, my lord, to make a confirmation as to whether the beard is oval or not.
Bathi lesithombe lesi 16 ke basithubule noma basidownloade ngaphansi kwekhasi ehamba ngale nombolo lezi elandelayo ke bathi 2856 bathi umuntu okhona kulesithombe lesike lapho komsolo wesibili futhi ugqoke ke lapho ke na ihood enombala ke omnyama ke bese ufaka ke cap uma bebuka kumbala wecap la okhona la ngaphansi ke cap bathi umbala ke lapho ko cream ngokombala ke wasathi lapho ke uyamamathi kanje kancane umuntu wakhona ke kulesithombe lesisho ukuthi umsolo wesibili ke lapho ke futhi wathi ukhipha amazinyo la ala ngaphezulwana ngaphandle ke athi khona futhi khona ke mustache ayibonayo la kulomuntu futhi nentshebe khona la ngezansi kena kepha kakhulu kuba ukuthi ngabe intshebe khona ke le eround noma ke yona intshebe eround ke lapho ke athi futhi uma bebuka ke umbala wengubo wejezi le agqokile ke lapho ke athi balibhalile la esandleni sokunxele futhi nala esandleni sokudla.
The next, okay, so that is page 16. Page 17, my lord, comes from the downloads number 2974. It is the picture of accused number 1. It's not number 2 anymore, it's number 1. He's wearing a white sporty red t-shirt, a jean, it's they call them smoke jean, my lord. It's a little bit of bluish and whitish in color, and red shoes. He seems to be opening a silver it looks like a VW Polo, although one cannot see, but he seems to be opening the driver's door, my lord.
Wathi malana nesithombe lesi esikhona la ngaphambi kwesikhanyiso lesi esuthi lapho silapha ngaphansi kwekhasi le-17 ke lapho ke kepha kuma sibuka ke inombolo la abadalode khona ke bathi lapho ku-2974 wathi isithombe somsolo oqala ke lapho ke futhi wathi malana nengubo egqokile ke yena ke egqoke ke lapho ispoti ke yena ke sinombala omhlophe ke bese egqoka ke iskipa esinombala obomvu ke bese egqoka ke lapho ke ijini elinombala ocishe wabhulu bese futhi wabuya futhi wangathi uyakhanya umbala wakhona ke futhi necathulo ezinombala obomvu bathi khona ke imoto mhlawumbe ngathi ipolo ke imoto yakhona ke usuthi yada voisicapha sakamshayeli wemoto ke lesithombe lesi.
The next photo, my lord, is photo number 18, and it's coming from download page 3023. So there are two individuals, my lord. The first individual sitting down on a red chair, it's accused number 1. He's wearing sunglasses with the same smoked, sort of like bluish and with white colors jean. He is seated. Next to him, there's a man making a sign and carrying a Hansa gold. It looks like Ken, with a cap, my lord. I don't know this individual, but I cannot confirm that the person seated down, it is accused number 1.
Wathi kule sithombe lesi ke sesi-18 ke lapho khona ke abalisa ababili ke lapho uma bebuka ke isithombe lesi uthi badownloade ngaphansi kwekhasi liphi ke lapho ke bathi ikhasi enale nombolo ilandelayo lapho wathi 3023 bathi khona koqala ke umuntu okhona ohlezi phezu kwesitulo esinombala obomvu ke lapho usuyi-camping chair ke leyo ke ngesingisi ke bathi ugqoke ke lapha ke yena ke athi umsola oqala ukhona ngalana futhi ufake ke ibuko ke yena ke futhi ugqoke ke iskipa la iskipa asigqokile umbala waso omhlophe ke bathi ufake ke iwash la ke yena ke esandleni sakhe ke bese gqoka bathi smoked jean shothi ile ngubo ke mhlawumbe noma ile jean ke noma lesikhindi esinembala ke emibili umbala phesheya omhlophe futhi omunye uphinde ubuye futhi lo mbala ke oblue bese bathi khona ke owesibili ahlezi naye ke lapho kepha athi umuntu wesibili ahlezi naye akazi ukuthi ubani kepha nalo wesibili ahlezi naye egqoke ke lapho ke necap elinombala obomvu iskipa esinombala omhlophe ke futhi nejini ke lapho ke linombala ke oblue.
Brigadier Ginina will revert to photos 17 and 18 in a while. You can carry on to page 19.
Page 19, my lord. The next page is page 19, probably the last page, yes, as well. It comes from download page 2992. It's a picture of 2 firearms, 3 actually, because one can see the barrel of the third one, and with some bullet, my lord. And the bullets that are in this picture, if one can just take a moment to count them, 6, 15. It's 18 bullets. That seems to be looking like a 9mm bullet, my lord.
Yathi mana nesithombe ke lapho ke sesi-19 ke lapho ke athi singaphansi kwekhasi elihamba enale inombolo elandelayo bathi 2992 bathi khona ke ibhamu lapho ke ezintathu uma ngabe sibuka kahle kahle isithombe lesi ngoba sinisibhamu lesi sivelile nje kancane ke ngomphangela ngaphambilini kusona ke bese bathi khona ke izinhlamvu ezikhona ke lapho ke athi uma ngabe umuntu angathola isikhathi esincane ke esakabala izinhlamvu lezi ke uyibalile ke ufakazi izinhlamvu lezi ke ezikhona ke athi uma ngabe iphelele ke izinhlamvu ezi-18 okwenombolo.
That is the last photo, my lord.
Bathi ke isithombe sokugcina lesi.
Thank you, Brigadier. If we can briefly deal with Exhibit S in brackets D.
Yes, my lord, I've got it in front of me.
Bathi manje basabuka lapho ke imibukiso khona ke ngaphansi ko SD shothi exhibit SD kuma bracket athi yebo sekayitholile.
We're just trying to put it up on the screen. If we can perhaps request our other technician just to put up that photo on the screen. Thanks, Mr. Makaza. Brigadier Geninda, Sergeant Mabasa has already testified about this picture. There's also a medical report that serves before this court as Exhibit S in brackets E, which is a dental examination of accused number 3.
Yes, my lord.
And just for the record, can you just identify this picture?
wathi ufakazi umnumzane Mabasa esakhulumile-ke malana nodaba loluthumbelezike futhi khona ke incwadi eqhamuke kudokotela-ke lapho bathi medical report-ke ngesingisi-ke ingaphansi kunobukiso lapho-ke exhibit S bese kuma-bracket athi E bacetha ufakazi ubaba uBrigadier Geninda-ke akhulume-ke ngesithombe lesi athi ufakazi bakhe-ke.
My lord, it is the picture of accused number 3. He's having red locks and smiling, my lord.
Yathi lapho-ke isithombe sakamsola kwesithathu-ke lapho-ke futhi unama-dreads-ke yena-ke futhi uyakhikiteka noma ukuthi uyasmayela-ke ngesingisi.
Should I go further maybe with the identification, my lord?
Yes.
If one looks at the picture, my lord, you can see that he's got a mustache. It's also visible. And then on the top of his teeth, the clearly visible teeth, if one looks at, so me facing the picture, my lord, it will be on the right, but if I have to refer to the accused poacher, it will be on his left. If one looks on his left, counting from where the teeth is visible, going towards the middle, the second teeth seems to be shiny. It's not the same as the others, and it seems to be shiny. And my view, my lord, it's something that may resembles a gold tooth, my lord.
Athi-ke uma ebuya-ke isithombe lesi-ke sakamsolwa-ke lapho kuma ejobelela malana nodaba alibonayo ngaphakathi kule sithombe lesi-ke athi-ke umnumzana-ke lapho kokhona ngaphakathi kule sithombe lesi-ke uma buka lapho isikhangiso sakhe sobuso uthi ubuso utshangala kanjani-ke lapho-ke athi umuntu utshangala ngathi umuntu-ke osmayelayo-ke lapho-ke bese uthi uveze amazinyo-ke ngaphandle-ke kepha athi uma ngabe emile ngohlangothi lwakhe lame kulona njengamanje-ke athi lokhu akubonayo esandleni sakhe sokudla-ke kepha uma eguquka futhi eyishintsha-ke lapho-ke emamalana nesikhangiso sesithombe lesi ngendlela esitshangala ngayo-ke athi kumazinyo wakhe kala ngaphezulu-ke khona-ke uma uqhamuka ngale egcineni noma mhlawumbe yebo egcineni lohlangothi la esandleni sobunxele-ke athi khona-ke lapho-ke into eshayinayo kumazinyo lo muntu-ke athi kutshangakala lokhu kutshangakala ngokuthi mhlawumbi-ke izinyo legolide leli.
And the color of this shine object, my lord, is goldish.
Athi futhi-ke lokushayina-ke akubonayo noma umbala walokushayina akubonayo athi kunomzimba kunombala ogold.
And I can also see, my lord, that he's wearing a t-shirt which has stripes, my lord. If I can just go back to the first page, yes. Which has stripes, my lord, of cream white, brown, blue. And in some pictures of this exhibit SD, his hands are in front of him, my lord.
Athi futhi malana nombala wengubo-ke weskipa asigqokile mhlawumbe ingubo ayigqokile lakhe na-ke athi imbala yakhe elandelayo athi umbala ke o-cream athi umbala ke o-brown umbala ke omhlophe bese omunye umbala ke o-blue noma umbala ke omnyama-ke lapho-ke futhi athi uma ngabe buka isithombe soqala-ke sikhona lana-ke athi izandla zakhe la ibeke khona-ke athi ubekela ngaphambili yena.
Yes, that's what I could identify, my lord, on this exhibit SD, my lord.
Athi lokho akubonayo mhlawumbe angakhuluma ngakho kakubonile ngaphakathi kwalemibukiso khona-ke ngaphansi ko-exhibit SD.
If you can also, Mr. Makaza, just turn over the page 2. Yes. Next image. Yes. Yes.
Yes, it is. It looks like a close-up, my lord, of the, in terms of the face recognition. It looks like it's the same picture, but it's more on a close-up. It is still accused number 3. One can see the dreadlocks. I can also see the mustache, and also the teeth. That is the shiny object that I said is shiny, goldish on top, my lord. Meaning on his left, the second one, and on my right, when I'm looking at him, my lord, that's accused number 3, my lord, with dreadlocks which are black in color.
Athi lesithombe lesike umuntu onayedwa lapho kathi umsolo wesithathu lapho futhi unama-threads lakena-ke ekhanda ligqoke isikebha lesebakhume ngaso salembala ke anayo ke lapho ke kepha ke isithombe esuthi esatholeke eduze lapho noma isithombe abasondeze eduze ke leso ke athi futhi lesithombe lesike umuntu akhona ke yasmayela ke lapho ke athi uma yena ke ekhuluma malana nalokho akubona ke lesithombe lesike uma ngaba amile la ame khona ke uhlangothini lakhe lesandla sokudla ke athi lo muntu lamazinyo la ngaphezulu ke uma eqala ngalana egcineni siyanga lana kushuthi izinyo lokuqala bese ke lesibili amazinyo avilile ke lapho ke athi utshala kutshengakala khona ukuthi umuntu lo unezinyo legolide ke na ke kepha uma ngabe iguquka futhi eyishintsha ke manje ngalo muntu khona kule sithombe lesike athi lokhu kuba esandleni sokunxele.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you able to profile the reason why you say the smiling the shining object it's a gold tooth?
My lord, that is according to my observation. That's what I see. It is out of ordinary. If you look at his teeth, they seems to be whitish. And then if you look further up to this second teeth from the last in terms of where his mouth starts, one can see that it's a goldish. It's out of ordinary. It's not the same as the coloring of the other teeth, my lord.
Bathi ngakhona ukukhuluma kahle ukuthi ahlahle yini lekwenza ukuthi wena ke uthi lo muntu lo unezinyo legolide ke na ke athi malana ukubona kwakhe ke lokhu into engajwayelekile futhi uma ibuka ke amazinyo lo muntu ke anombala ke omhlophe wonkana kepha ngaphandle nje kwezinyo elilodwa ke lapho ke athi leli ke izinyo bakhona ke lishayina ke lapho ke athi kungakho ethi lapho yena ke ufake izinyo legolide.
And through experience, my lord, I do know that people do put gold teeth. It can be gold, it can be silver, through surgical means or artificial means for cosmetic purposes.
Athi ke ngolwazi lwakhe ke lapho ke abantu bavama ukuthi ufake amazinyo egolide noma mhlamba amazinyo ke esilver ke lapho ke abafaka mhlamba lapho ngaphansi bafaka ngaphansi bawufaka khona ke abodokotela bamazinyo ke kepha abanye ke hlangothini kolunye kohlangothi abanye bavama ukuthi ufake amazinyo lana ke wathini artificial usile lokhu mhlamba kudoliwe lapho kubona.
So that's what makes me form the conclusion, my lord, that it resembled a gold tooth because it's goldish as well.
Athi kungakho ke athi leli ke izinyo legolide ke ngoba ke linombala ke ogold la kulona.
And how does this fact of a gold tooth tie up with the evidence?
So when it goes to the evidence, if one looks at, my lord, what was said, and I'll go to specifically to the exhibit that I know is before court of Warrant Officer Steenkamp. If one looks at that, my lord, it is clear from the
Exhibit J.
Exhibit J, my lord. It is clear from her report, her statement, that the first intruder, the first suspect that was identified to her, which led then to the identity of suspect A, that person was identified as having a gold tooth. And if one looks at Exhibit A, that is now according to the report of Warrant Officer Steenkamp, she's flowing from, I think the first person she interviewed is Ms. Kelly Kumalo, insofar as the first suspect, indicating that that suspect, obviously in addition to other things, had a gold tooth. From there, going down up to the last person who was inside the house, my lord, she's saying these witnesses who were inside the description is similar. In other words, if I understand her flow of information to say they're giving a similar description of suspect A, they are saying suspect A had a gold tooth. Now, through investigation, my lord, we've indicated that the investigations that we conducted points to accused number 3 as having the similarities. And obviously the things that I've testified about, that seems to narrate or correlate with the alleged intruder that went into the crime scene and shot the deceased on the 26th of October 2014.
bakhuluma ngofakazi kade bebuza kofakazi lapho ukuthi malana nodaba lolu lezinye legolide ke mhlawumbe kuhamba xhumana kanjani nofakazi okhona ngaphambi kwenkosi yenkantolo ke lapho ke athi yena ke malana nodaba elikhona ke mhlawumbe noma malana nodaba lenkulumo elikhona ke lapho kade iqhamukile lapho iqhamukisa warrant officer Steenkamp ke lapho ke ngesikhathi wakhuluma nabofakazi ke bekhona ngaphakathi kwalomuzi lana ke wakhuluma ngelanga le-26 ka-October ngonyaka ka-2014 athi udaba loqala ukuthi ke abantu ade bekhona lapho ngaphakathi noma umuntu oqala wakhulumisana naye ke lapho ke warrant officer Steenkamp malana nemibukiso kade ayide malana nodaba kade bemtshela ngalo noma malana nofakazi bekhuluma ngalo abantu ade bekhona ke lapho ke noma izisulu lezi kade zikhona ngaphakathi kwelikhaya lela ngelanga lesigameko basho khona njalo lapho ngaphakathi ku-exhibit J ke lapho ke futhi ne-exhibit A bamchaza lo muntu oqala nomhlawumbe lesigebengu soqala nosigebengu soqala ke esangena ngaphakathi kwalomuzi lana ke ukuthi ke umuntu ke onezinyo legolide ke yena ke athi futhi bamchaza ukuthi ke umuntu onama-dreads ke yena ke bathi uyena ke owadubula lapho ke umufi ngelanga leli lesigameko athi futhi nabanye ofakazi nabo bahambisana nenkulumo yofakazi oqala kuHeli Khumalo ke nabo ngendlela kade becela ngayo warrant officer Steenkamp lo muntu bamdweba nomhlawumbe bamchaza ke ngendlela kuwukuthi ke unezinyo legolide ke yena futhi lo fakazi okuyaxhumana uma bebuka kofakazi ama-statement ke noma inkulumo yakhulunywa ke lapho ke ufakazi oqala futhi nabanye kabofakazi ke athi bonkana abofakazi bekhuluma no-warrant officer Steenkamp bamchaza lo muntu noma bamusho lo muntu ke njengomuntu onezinyo legolide ke.
In fact, my lord, if one needs to be specific insofar as what the Exhibit J says, she says, this is now the description of suspect A, my lord. She says, amongst other description, this is now suspect A, held a golden insert in upper teeth. Now, if one takes this description, my lord, corresponds or correlates with what we see in accused number 3. The gold tooth is on the upper teeth, and this is the description that was given to warrant officer Steenkamp on the 29th of October 2014 of suspect A, having a gold insert on the upper teeth, according to what was given to her, my lord.
Bathi mana kade caphula ke lapho ke ufakazi mana nenkulumo ekhona eyabhalwa ngaphansi kohlelo affidavit.
Yeah, of Mr. Steenkamp. Perhaps, my lord, just to read it proper into context, so that it's one does not just, it will make sense to the court. It says...
I think it's
not
fine.
necessary.
It's on
All right.
record. Yeah.
All right, okay,
It's
my
fine.
lord.
Bathi bacaphula mana nenkulumo eyakhulunywa ke lapho ke warrant officer Steenkamp ngaphansi kohlelo kwalibhala ngaphansi kwesifungo sokuthi affidavit ke lapho ke athi ususpect A ufuthi umsola oqala owangena ngaphakathi kwalomuzi kwaKhumalo ngelanga lesigameko lapho ke bathi kade anezinyo legolide la kuyena kade analo ke la kumazinyo kala ngaphezulu kumazinyo bathi futhi ke uyena ke owadubula kulomuzi lwana okaKhumalo.
Yes.
I've just conferred with my learned friend, and perhaps we should allow Brigadier Gidinda just to read that portion. You can go ahead, Brig.
Okay, my lord. So just to put it into the proper context, my lord, I'll read the portion of where this gold tooth comes in the first time. It says, maybe let me start on top, my lord. On Monday, 2014, 10/29, I was called out to Phosphorus Detective, accompanied by Lieutenant Colonel M.J. Streicher, Operational Commander, Pretoria, Glen, RCRC, to interview witnesses in case 676-10-2014, Phosphorus murder and armed robbery. I think here it would have been a mistake, my lord. It's supposed to be 636. Then it goes as follows. I interviewed several witnesses individually. My first witness was Kelly Khumalo. Kelly told me in short that she and the deceased walked to the convenience store. Upon return, Kelly, deceased family member, and friends had a smoke outside the house. Miss Khumalo called them inside to say goodbye. They sit down and start chatting again. Kelly was sitting near the kitchen when she saw two African males entering the house. Suspect A appeared very aggressive and demanded cell phones and money. This suspect approached Kelly, and the deceased jumped up towards suspect A. The scuffle between suspect A and the deceased started. The next moment, Kelly had 2 gunshots. She gave the following description. and this is where now it becomes important, my lord, in terms of what I was saying. African male in his mid-20s, dark brown, shiny complexion, dreadlocks, hairstyle, no scars, no facial hairs, golden insert in upper teeth, language local Zulu. He was wearing a brown jacket with a woolen collar. He was not clean in appearance. Suspect A enter the house first. He was armed with the old revolver. We dealt with this previously, my lord. So he could not describe, Kelly could not describe the second suspect. After compilation, she was satisfied with identikit. She compiled the face with headgear, my lord. So that is now insofar. The important point is that now it relates to this golden insert upper teeth. Now, when you go down, my lord, to the other people that Miss Warrant Officer Steenkamp interviewed, she is indicating that they gave the similar description of the first intruder, because the people who were in the house were only able to assist insofar as the identikit of suspect A, not the second one. The second one was compiled through the assistance of Makaleni. But if one flows from this, my lord, they give a similar description. So in my understanding, they are saying what Ms. Kelly Komalo is saying above, and that includes the gold tooth incision was there, my lord.
This is not an objection per se, my lord. But it is something that I'm going to request the court to take judicial notice of. Number one, what has just been put on record here, it's hearsay. It's information that is compiled by Warrant Officer Steenkamp, the identikit expert. She's describing in her affidavit what the witnesses in the house told her. That is hearsay. Let me just assist the court, my lord. Yesterday, we've been dealing with the dynamics of the applicability of a hearsay in court proceedings. A lot has been said about hearsay being admitted on a provisional basis, pending the testimony of the person on whose credibility that information comes from. Now, we've got Kelly, we've got Mrs. Steenkamp. Kelly says to Mrs. Steenkamp, this is my observation of the suspects who were in the house. Mrs. Steenkamp, or Warrant Officer Steenkamp, puts that in her affidavit. That does not come from Warrant Officer Steenkamp. The information comes from Kelly. Now, Kelly is again one of those witnesses that are mentioned in the list of witnesses in terms of Section 144 of the Criminal Procedure Act. Mrs. Steenkamp again is also one of those witnesses who's also mentioned in the list of state witnesses. I'm not so sure whether the state, by leading this information, is going to request the court that it should be admitted provisionally, pending the calling of these two witnesses, my lord. I just need the clarity from the state.
Yes, sir.
As a court, please, my lord. None other than the defense handed up Exhibit J. The state didn't hand it up, it's the defense that handed it up. They cross-examined at length
Which is
on the contents
no,
of
which is Exhibit J, so that everybody can see it.
exhibit. There's the report of Warrant Officer Steenkamp.
So it was handed up by the state.
By
the defense.
Yes.
Is that what you are saying?
Yes. It was
Okay.
handed up by the defense. They cross-examined at length. They referred to the contents thereof. In fact, the contents thereof were traversed through various witnesses, and not only one witness, my lord, but as far as we remember, various witnesses. When we dealt with hearsay evidence yesterday, my lord, the hearsay act stipulates that the party against whom hearsay evidence is to be used can consent thereto, but what other inference, my lord, can be made from the fact that the defense, out of their own accord, handed up this exhibit. Other than that, they consent thereto, my lord. It cannot be that they use the exhibit when it suits them, but when it doesn't suit them, my lord, they object thereto. But it's an exhibit that is before court, and we submit, my lord, that Brigadier Ginina can refer to that exhibit.
Okay.
Thank you, Brigadier. Do you have, sorry?
Mara notaba lenkulumo ke khona la ngaphambi kwenkantolo bathi exhibit J.
I'm not sure whether I need to reply.
I don't know. If you want to reply, you can reply.
But we need the guidance from the court. Then the court simply
No,
says
I've noted
okay,
it.
and
I've
then we don't
noted-
know what does okay mean.
No, I've noted.
That seems to be unprocedural, my lord.
Please, Mr. Mnisi,
Yes.
don't insult me.
No, I'm not insulting you, my lord.
Please.
I'm expecting the court to invite if we've got a reply to what the state
But,
has responded
but,
to. And then the court simply says okay.
Yes, but Mr. Baloi has said you handed up that exhibit.
Yes.
What more must I do? What more must I do?
What does procedure say, my lord? If there's an objection, there's a response, is there not supposed to be a
I've
reply?
got two versions, in other words, before me, so the court will
No,
decide.
it's fine, I'll sit down, man.
Yeah, will decide which version.
No, I'll sit down.
Khona ke inkulumo kade ke lapho ke khona ngaphansi kwemibukiso lapho ke ka exhibit J ke lapho ke yabhalwa ko warrant officer Stan Kambe ibhala ngaphansi kwesifungo ke lapho ke kade afunda yona ke njalo ufakazi bese ke umnumzana uadvocate Mnisi ke wama ngenyawo waphakama wanqaba ukuthi bakhuluma ngale nkulumo ngoba ke shuthi inkulumo lena kushuthi inkulumo ekungizwe noma inkulumo umuntu ayizwe ngomunye ke umuntu ke lapho ke lathi khona ke kunabantu ababili ke lapho ke phakathi kwalabantu ababili ke oqala ke lapho ke uKheli Khumalo bese kwesibini warrant officer Stan Kambe ke lapho ke bathi lapho ke inkulumo officer Stan Kambe awayizwa ngoKheli Khumalo ke kepha wathi warrant officer Stan Kambe bamlethile ngaphambi kwenkosenkantolo safika nothufakazi bakhe ke lapho ke kepha ke uKheli Khumalo basakambizi ke lapho ke nanoma basengakambizi njalo kepha ke bathi uKheli Khumalo ke igama lakhe likhona ngaphansi kwamagama obufakazi abakhona la ngaphansi kwenkosenkantolo lapho ke besocaphula ngaphansi kwezomthetho lapho kasho khona nje wathi i-witness list lapho ke wathi manje kungani nengabizi besazokhuluma ngale nkulumo yakhe ke lena ke futhi bekafisa ukuthi azi ukuthi ngabe inkosenkantolo le nkulumo ke iziyamukela noma iziyamukela vele unomphelo noma iziyamukela ukusikhashana ukuze kufike isikhathi la kube khona abofakazi babonkana ekuthizeni beze bakhulumeke bese lapha kami ithimba labashushisi lasho khona njalo lapho ukuthi inkulumo lena ke abantu baqhambise ngaphambi kwenkosenkantolo ke abameli ke futhi bona bathi abakaze baqhambise bese abameli kuba khona njalo babuza ke imibuzo phicelezi ngodaba le nkulumo lena ke manje kade asho njalo ukuthi yebo inkosenkantolo bese yathi yena yakhe kulungileke mangabe kunjalo ke shuthi inkulumo khona ihamba ke ngale ndlela elandelayo ke inkulumo yabhala ku Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp athini ibhala ngaphansi kwesifungo ke lapho kumanicala Foslorus case 636/10/2014 lapho ngaphansi ku A4 A46 in brackets bathi u3 lapho ke athi ngomsombuluko ngomnyaka 2014 ngenyanga kaOctober lapho nge29 athina ke wabiza lapho ke Foslorus ibizwa ngaphansi kwehhovisi noma mhlawumbe Lieutenant Colonel ke lapho ke MJ balisiphungulisi
Stretcher.
wathi Lieutenant Colonel Ascretcha ke usebenza ngaphansi ko-Operational Commander yaseProtea Glen LCRC ukuthi akahambe ukukhulumisana nabofakazi mayelana nodaba lwecala ke lapho ke bathi icase abayibhalile ke lana ngaphansi kwalodaba lolu wathi case lapho 676/10 2014 Phosphorus bathi icala lokubulala liqhubile ke lapho ke base athi uBrigadier Ginina benze iphutha lapho bengamele ukuthi icase lena kube u676/10 of 2014 kepha bekumele ukuthi kube u636/10 2014 bathi na-ke wasikhuluma ke nabofakazi ke abohlukene ekhuluma nabo bodwana abofakazi labo ke athi ufakazi oqala ukukhulumisana naye wakhulumisana naye ke lapho ke uKheli Khumalo ke bese ngesikhathi bakhulumisana naye wamtshela khona njalo ngokunciphile nje maya nodaba lokushona ke kamufi lapho athena ke nomufi baphuma bahamba baya kwisitolo ke lapho ke athi ngesikhathi baqeda ukubuya lapho ke esitolo uKheli Khumalo nomufi ke kade bekhona ke abomndeni futhi abangani ke lapho ke umufi kade anabola ngaphandle kade abhema nabo ngaphandle kwalomuzi loyanakhe izathi uma ulukuzana unkosazana uKheli Khumalo ke bese wabiza ukuthi abangene ngaphakathi ngoba bafisa ukuthi avalise kubona ke bathi ngemuva kwalokho bese baqala bahlala phansi ke ngemuva kokuthi bahlale phansi ke bese babuya baxoxisana futhi
Thank you.
Labathi khona ke uKelly Khumalo wahlala phansi lapho ke eduze nekhishi kalo muzi kelana ke athi ngesikhathi wabona ke abalisa ababili ke abamnyama ke ngesikhathi kade bengena ngaphakathi kwalo muzi wakhona ke wathi umsolo uqala wangena ke lapho ke waqhamuka njengomuntu ke onodlame noma njengomuntu ke yebo nje umuntu onodlame futhi wafuna amacingo wabo futhi nemali kusukeshuketha afuna ama cell phones futhi nemali ke lapho ke bathi ke nake lo msolo ngesikhathi beqhamuka lapho ke uKelly Khumalo wakhona ukuthi amboneke futhi bese waphakama lo msolo wayaduze nosenzo lapho ke usuthi suspect lapho umsolo uqala ke lapho ke bese baxambulisana ke lapho ke noma mhlawumbe kwaba nengxabano ethi khona ke lapho ke phakathi komsolo uqala futhi nomufi ke lapho ke bese into uKelly Khumalo awayizwa lapho kwathi uthena ke wezwa ke umsindo wamabullet amabili ngesikhathi kade kudutshula ngaphakathi kule yakhala yena ke futhi wakhuluma ngelanga leli ukuthi yena ke into wayibona ke ukuthi lo muntu oqala umnyama lapho ke malana udaba leminyaka yakhe ke ongaphakathi kweminyaka engamashumi amabili ke lapho ke futhi wathi ngokumbala ke umuntu dark brown skin ke lapho ke ngokumbala wakhe futhi akusumuntu omnyama futhi akusumuntu okhanya ke ngokumbala ke lapho ke futhi kade nama threats malana la ikhanda ke yena ke bekana ama threats futhi la ebusweni kuyena ke kade kungekho ukulimala futhi athi kade ngekho kunya kade khona ngaphakathi kule nule zakhe ke bese lo muntu lo nothizeni kade ke enezinyo legolide kumazinyo wakhe kwala ngaphezulu bathi ulwimi kade alikhuluma ke lomlisa lona ke ulwimi lalana ke eNingizimu Afrika ke usho ukuthi ulwimi lwesiZulu ke lolo kade alikhuluma ke futhi mana nodaba lengubo kade egqokile lapho ke kade egqoke ijacket enombala ke obrown futhi newool lapho ke kena ke ngokumbala ukhala ke lapho ke bathi ke kade engaconzekile kahle ke malana nangesikhangiso sakhe futhi kade angcolile nyana kancane ke lo muntu wena ke wathi suspect uyena kwangena umsolo oqala wangena ngaphakathi kwalo muzi wena ke qala ke athi wangena futhi ehlobile ngesikhathi bangena lapha ngaphakathi lo muzi futhi ephethe lapho ke isibhamu se-revolver ke simnyama ke wathi uKelly Khumalo akazange akhona ukukhuluma bayephecelezi nodaba lo muntu wesibili ke noma umsolo wesibili owana mhlawumbe isigebengu sangena ngaphakathi kwalo muzi wena ke bathi ngemuva kwalokho bese uSteenkamp uKelly ke wenza i-ID kit lapho ke sizwa ke uSteenkamp malana nesikhangiso sobuso balo muntu owangena ngaphakathi kwalo muzi futhi wathi nabanye abofakazi ke abozandi khuma aboluku zakuzandi Khumalo abodumelo madlala ke nabo lo ngethwala futhi bahamba nabo makeleni ebakhulumile phecelezi ngodaba labantu abangena ngaphakathi kwala khaya futhi inkulumo yabo ke kade ihambisana nenkulumo ekaKelly Khumalo.
Thank you, Brigadier Gininda. We need not dwell on this report. It's on record.
Yes, my lord.
Then just finally, Brigadier Gininda, just to come back to Exhibit DD4B, photo 17 and 18.
Yes, my lord.
You testified that these are the photos of accused number 1 that appear on the downloads of accused number 2.
That is correct, my lord.
Babonga ukufakaza wathi ngeke siqinise kabanzi ukudaba lolu balinkulumo yakhulunywa lapho ke uRandu First Cup ngaphansi kohlelo lesifungo ke lapho ngaphansi kwafidavit kepha bathe cethu ufakaza uBrigadier Gininda sithi uhlehlele emuva ke naye phecelezi kuyithome khona ke ngaphakathi kwemibukiso ka exhibit DD4 B kuma bracket bathi sithome se17 futhi nesithome se18 la khona khona ke uthi ke umuntu okhona lapha komsola oqala athi yebo kunjalo.
Now, the following proposition was made by Advocate Mnisi to Warrant Officer Ndlovu. We hope we've captured this proposition correctly. It was put that accused number 1 knows accused number 2 very well, even if not body, through his younger brother, and that accused number 2 was the friend of accused number 1's younger brother, and that this younger brother of accused number 1 is known as Gwabeni.
Wathi khona ke inkulumo lapho yakhulunywa lapho umnumzana Advocate Mnisi ke ngesikhathi yakhuluma lapho etshala kwa Officer Ndlovu ukuthi ke lapho ke umsola wokuqala uyamazi ke umsola wesibili kepha abazani ngokujulile kepha kumsola wesibili athi umsola oqala wazi umsola wesibili njengomuntu kade kumngani womfowabo omncane ke lapho.
My lord, what I know through the investigation is that Gwabeni, his real name is Sifiso Zungu. So let's start there. His surname is not Sibia, it's Zungu. And I'm not aware, insofar as the investigation is concerned, that is a younger brother of accused number 1. I want to start there, my lord.
Isijobelelo sikhona lapho ngesikhohli kusikhuluma ukuthi ke umfowabo omncane kaMsola wokuqala wathi igama lakhe uGwabeni bese ke uBrigadier Gininda uyakhuluma ukuthi lo Gwabeni wakhuluma ngala lapho ke igama lakhe langempela futhi negama lakhe leqiniso ke lapho ke athi uSifiso Zungu ke kepha akazi ukuthi ngabe uhlobene kanjani noma uxhumana kanjani ke noMsola wokuqala.
No, I'm saying, insofar as we know, he is not the biological brother of accused number 1. So I know that they are related. That's why I was going to go to my lord. But the assertion that he is the younger brother of accused number 1, that's not what I'm aware of. What I'm aware of is that they are related, and I'll indicate how I know that, my lord, shortly.
Ngiyaxolisa ke lapho ke athi malana nolwazi alaziyo ukuthi ke abazalwa wakhe umuntu oyedwa kepha ke bahlobene.
What I know, my lord, like as I said, is that accused 1 is related to accused number 5, and is also related to this Gwabeni, this Sifiso Zungu, in terms of relatives. And they are also related to Constable Zungu, the policeman. I think they call each other, or they call him uncle. So there's a relationship. And then in addition to that, they come from the same area of Kwanongoma. And that now also leads to the relationship of accused 2, 3 and 4, my lord, as friends now. But the relations in terms of family relations, accused 1 is related to accused number 5, and then also accused Constable Zungu, and then that's what I know, my lord. I'm not aware. I don't have anything or that came up during the course of the investigation that Gwabeni is actually the brother of accused number 1. It's not what I know, my lord.
Mr. Gininda is mentioning accused number 3, 4. Well, I've heard him with regard to accused number 5, but he also mentioned accused number 3 and 4. How does he fit accused 3 and 4 in what he's trying to describe there? I did not get him there. Clear?
Yes, sir. Sorry, from my own understanding, the Gwabeni you are speaking of, is it the same Gwabeni, allegedly, who was apparently given a 0.38? And I've not made a finding that that is the truth.
Yes,
according to Zungu said accused number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, they were at one stage in the same room. And then a light went off, and you were called Malume, fine. So there's a guy who was mentioned as Gwabeni.
Yes, my
by
lord.
Zungu.
That is the Gwabeni that
Is
I'm
that the
aware
same
of.
Gwabeni you're talking of?
That is the Gwabeni that I'm talking about, my lord, where I say his real names, because I have his statement, it's Sifiso Zungu, and that is the Gwabeni that I'm aware of, my lord.
All right.
Beyakhuluma ke konjalo ukufaka lapho uthi malana nodaba ke walithola ngesikhathi ke sesha ke qala leli kulolu olandelayo ukuthi umsola wokuqala futhi nomsola wesi5 wesihlanu ke lapho kathi bayaxhumana mhlambe umndeni owodwa mhlambe ihlobo ke lapho ke athi futhi noGwabeni isihlobo sabo somndeni ke lapho ke kepha igama lika Gwabeni leqiniso athi uSifiso Zungu ke athi futhi yaxhumana noConstable Zungu ke lapho ke ngoba baqhamuka bonke le emakhaya kwaNongoma ke lapho ke athi kepha ke ulukuzana uConstable Zungu athi uma bembiza bambiza njengomalume.
So in relation to accused 3 in specific, to respond to Advocate Mnisi, my lord, I said, I'm not saying accused 2, 3, and 4 are relative of accused number 1 and Constable Zungu. I'm saying, insofar as what we know on the investigation, Gwabeni, accused number 1 and accused number 5 are related. Then the other ones are friends due to the situation that they come from the same area, not as relatives. That's the narrative I'm saying. So if I'm being understood saying 2, 3, and 4 are relative of accused number 1 and 5 and Constable Zungu, no, it's not what I'm saying, my lord.
Athi mina nginkulumo advocate Mnisi la kade aphakame khona inqaba mhlambe engahambisana kahle ke lapho ke ukuthi umsola wesibili wesithathu nowesine ukuthi abahlobo ke nomsola oqala futhi nomsola wesihlanu ke lapho ke futhi noGwabeni futhi noConstable Zungu ke lapho ke athi bona into abayithola ngesikhathi leka sesha icala ukuthi baqhamuka esigodini sesodwa sale emakhaya kwaNongoma akusizwe ihlobo zabo umsola wesibili owesithathu futhi nowesine kepha ke ihlobo ezikhona ke lapha lana ke athi umsola uqala nomsola wesihlanu ke futhi ihlobo noGwabeni onegama wathi uSifiso Zungu ke igama leqiniso futhi lesikhona ke statement abasithola esiqhamuka kuye nalomulisi othizeni bambiza ngokuthi igama lakhe uSifiso Zungu ukuthi uGwabeni igama elijwayelekile.
Advocate Mshololo put it on record on behalf of accused number 5 that the mother of accused number 5 is Ms. Batatelele Zungu.
Yes, my lord, and that is why I'm saying the relativeness comes there, and that's why I said during the course of investigation, in terms of relatives, that's what I could establish. I could not establish during the course of the investigation, even though we're not investigating family ties, but it comes out as we're dealing with the investigation that accused 1, Constable Zungu, and accused 5. Somewhere the surnames are common, I think because of marriage issues as well, but not of accused 2. I'm not aware of accused 1 having a younger, this narrative that was put to me, I'm not aware, my lord. I'm only aware that accused 1, Constable Zungu, and accused 5, there is family relations, my lord.
Sorry, my lord, accused number 1 has raised up his hand.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam, for the indulgence. I'm indebted to the court. I'll take this aspect on cross-examination. Okay.
Beyakhuluma ke khona njalo ke lapho ke ufakazi ukuthi udaba oluqhamukile ngesikhathi lesi kade bephenya icala noma besesha icala lapho ke athi kule nkulumo elandelayo ukuthi ke lapho ke umsola uqala futhi nomsola wesihlanu ke lapho ke ngoba kade khona inkulumo beqhamukile athi yakhuluma ke lapho advocate Mshololo ke kade akhuluma khona njalo ukuthi igama la kamama omsola wesithathu ke lapho ke athi ubathethelele Zungu igama nesibongo sakhe ke lapho ke bese wabuya uphendula ke lapho ke ufakazi wathi inkumalana nodaba lena lwaqhamuka noma mana nkulumo yaqhamuka ngesikhathi lesi kade bephakathi ekukhulumeni kwecala leli kuukuthi ke lapho umsola uqala futhi umsola wesihlanu ke ukuthi baxhumana ngendaba yomndeni noma ngendaba yokushada kwamalungu wabo womndeni lapho ke athi futhi ke lapho ukuthi naye bayihlobo futhi nolokuze Constable Zungu bayihlobo lapho ke bese yebo kunjalo.
And just finally, earlier on in re-examination, you indicated that Mr. Sifiso Zungu, known as Gwabeni, is reluctant to testify in these proceedings out of fear of his personal safety. Do you confirm that?
Yes, I do confirm that, my lord.
Bathi bakhuluma ke ngesikhathi kade uthilofakazi bakho ukuthi lapho ke uGwabeni wabiza igama lika Sifiso Zungu wathi uthize uyasaba ukuza ngaphambi kusenkantolo azoletha ufakazi ngemba yokuthi usabela impilo yakhe athi yebo ngakusho lokho.
Thank you, my lord. These are the...
Yeah, fine. Just to clarify this before Mr. Mnisi cross-examines. Is this Gwabeni under police protection scheme?
No, he is not, my lord.
Was he offered?
He was offered, my lord.
To be under police protection?
Yes, he was offered, my lord.
And?
At the time, he was reluctant. He didn't want to, my lord.
He didn't want to?
He didn't want to. He didn't want to, my lord. That's what I can say. Okay. But there were reasons given by him as to why he's reluctant to go in.
Kade ibuza kusenkantolo manje uSifiso Gwabeni ngabe amaphoyisa akhe amtshela nomhlanje amthembisa ukuthi bazomfaka ngaphansi kwezokhuselo leziphoyisa usho mhlawumbe abuya azokhuluma njengomuntu wada khusile ephansi kokhuselo leziphoyisa athi yebo bamtshela kepha ke wakunqaba lokho ke bathi manje ngaba akaze azisho yini izathu zakhe zokunqaba lokho ke athi yebo wazikhuluma izathu zakhe ukuthi kungani anqabile ethizini abe ngaphansi kwezokhuselo noma ukhuseleka kweziphoyisa.
Yes. What's the time there?
It's 11:14, my lord. Maybe we can take the normal short adjournment.
We can make it up first.
Bathi umnumzana ke uSibiya ke uyakusho lokho futhi ngokugcwele ukuthi nakaqhamuki ngaphansi kwesigodi noma ngaphansi kwendawo yakwaNongoma kepha kuqhamuka kwindawo esemahlabathini. Bathi manje le godi lezi igodi ezimbili futhi ezahlukene futhi eziqhelene ezingekho seduze.
No, my lord. My understanding, those names sometimes can be used interchangeably. That's my understanding in that part. They come from the same area. It must be different places within the same area, and those names are used interchangeably. That's what I understand of that area. Because other than this case, while I was doing my work in other unrelated cases, we will visit that case during the course of investigations, and these names, KwaMahlabathini, Nongoma, will be used interchangeably. That's my understanding. So for me, it's one and the same area, depending what name you use, my lord.
Athi ke na ke ufakazi ngokuzwisisa kwakhe ke lapho kathi indawo ke yodwana lena ke kwaNongoma futhi nasemahlabathini athi esikhathini esiningi mangabe kade besesha amacala bavame ukuthi bayeke lapho kusesha amanye amacala ngaphandle kwecala leli ke lapho ke athi esikhathini esiningi abantu abaningi bavame ukuthi baqhamuka lapho kwamahlabathini abanye bathi baqhamuka lapho kwaNongoma ke athi yena ke uma ngabe eseka ikhulumela nje ngenkulumo egcwele mhlawumbe ngokunciphile lapho ke athi ke indawo eyodwana kepha ke indawo enegodi ezahluka.
So when you say Mahlabathini and KwaNongoma are words that are used interchangeably, according to you, that specifically refers to the same area. It's either you call it Mahlabathini or KwaNongoma.
No, my lord. So what I'm saying, my lord, is my understanding of these names. It's a big area. That place, it's almost like Soweto. Then within Soweto, you will get Mufulo South. You will get White City, you will get Meadowlands. So someone will say, I'm going to Meadowlands. Then someone will say, I'm going to Soweto. But you are talking about a vast area within the same geographical area. And I'm saying that is how I understand the two names, my lord.
Bathi manje ushuthi le ndawo ke ushuthi indawo ke bayibiza ngamagama amabili kepha kahlukene leyo ke athi le ndawo ke indawo ke enkulu uma ngabe enze sibonelo athi indawo efana nendawo yaseSoweto ke uma ngabe ngaphansi kwesigodi saseSoweto ke athi kulathola khona ke ezinye igodi ezikhona ngaphansi kwendawo leyo mhlawumbe zahlukene ushuthi ufana naseMfulo naseMeadowlands kepha athi umuntu uyahamba uyeSoweto abe esho ukuthi uyakhona lapho ke sorry my lord. Mr. Sibiya has raised up his hand.
Thank you. Let us cut this very short, Brigadier Kininda. According to Mr. Sibiya, Mahlabathini and KwaNongoma is not the same place. These are two different places. He is from Mahlabathini and not KwaNongoma.
Athi siqedeleke lenkulumo sinciphise kathi ngokwenkulumo eqhamuka kumnumzana uSibiya ukuthi akaqhamuki ngaphansi kwesigodi sakwaNongoma kepha uqhamuka ngaphansi kwendawo zasemahlabathini futhi atendawo lezi indawo ezimbili ezahlukene.
So your knowledge would not force him to admit that he's from KwaNongoma when he's not from KwaNongoma.
Awuthi ngeke umphoqeke ukuthi asho ukuthi uqhamuka lapha kwaNongoma kepha abe engaqhamuki lapho ke ngaphansi kwesigodi sakwaNongoma.
No, my lord, I'm not compelling him to agree. I was simply indicating my understanding. If he says it's different, that's what he says, my lord.
Athina ke kamphoqe ukuthi asho ukuthi uqhamuka ngaphansi kwendawo lena ke kepha kathi uma ngabe inkulumo iqhamuka kumnumzana uSibiya ukuthi indawo lezi ezimbili indawo zahlukene futhi iqhamuka kule ndawo ethize kwindawo ethize yasemahlabathini athi yebo inkulumo yakhe ke leyo.
Thank you.
Sorry, counsel. Advocate Mnisi. Mr. Sibiya has raised up his hand.
Oh, thank you. Let me approach Mr. Sibiya.
You know that place, Mr. Noman, Shabialingan.
I know those places, my lord.
We used to go there for medicine, for football.
Is it? Where exactly?
So I know Mr. Shabialingan.
Thank you for indulging.
Yes, sir.
Furthermore, I put it to one of the witnesses here. Now I can't remember who that witness is. That Gwabeni is Mr. Sibiya's younger brother. Indeed, that is so.
Athi futhi ke khona ke ufakazi awamtshela lokho kulandelayo kepha akasakhumbuli ngokugcwele ukuthi ubani ke lo ufakazi lokho adamtshela lenkulumo ukuthi ke lapho ke empeleni ngiqiniso ke uGwabeni umfowabo omncane umnumzana Sibiya.
Never ever was it ever suggested that Mr. Sibiya and Gwabeni are blood brothers.
Athi kepha kabakaze basho ukuthi ke umnumzana kuGwabeni futhi nomnumzana uSibiya ke bazalwa umuntu oyedwa.
Mr. Sibiya says his mother and the mother to Gwabeni are sisters.
Athi ke inkulumo eqhamuka kumnumzana uSibiya ukuthi umama obeletha uGwabeni futhi nomama obeletha yena ke lapho ke athi abantu abeletha umuntu oyedwa mhlawumbe abosisi ke labo.
Now Sibiya being the Sibiya and Gwabeni, when Gwabeni says Sibiya, he says Sibiya is my elder brother because Sibiya is indeed older than Gwabeni.
Athi lapho ke uGwabeni uma ngabe kubona kumnumzana uSibiya ke lapho ke umbiza njengobhuti wakhe omdala ngoba owabetha qala phakathi kwabo bobabili ke lapho ke umnumzana uSibiya futhi uyena omdala kumnumzana uGwabeni.
That's the reason why Sibiya says Gwabeni is my younger brother.
Athi sona ke isathu leso ke senza ukuthi umnumzana uSibiya athi uGwabeni umfowabo omncane.
Thank you.
My Lord, it confirms what I was saying, that there is a relationship in my understanding. Accused 1, Gwabeni, and Constabule accused 1, accused 5, and Gwabeni are related. That's what I said. So there is a family relationship between accused number 1 and Gwabeni, and this session that has been given to me confirms that, my Lord.
Athi yebo lokho isiqiniseko senkulumo le ayikhulumile noma inkulumo yabona ukuthi inkulumo ayikhulumile awayizwa ukuthi ke lapho ke umnumzana uSibiya futhi nomsola wesihlanu ke lapho ke futhi noGwabeni ukuthi baqhumana ngokwezomndeni nomhlamba ihlobo ngokwezomndeni.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, you also requested to have some opinion or comments on Exhibit SD, which is the photo album, not really photo album, which are the photos of Mr. Mnube that were handed to court on the testimony of Mabasa.
That is correct, my Lord.
Athiyabonga ke umeli kepha khona oludaba ngathanda ukuthi alidikite mana pictures nezithombe lezi kade warrant officer Mabasa lethe ufakazi bazo ngazo ke izithombe zakamnumzana ke uNcube.
Now you also say that on your observation on the second left upper jaw teeth of Mr. Sibiya, of Mr. Mnube, you could also see what appears to be shiny there, and in your view that resembles a gold. Is that what you said?
Bathi phecelezi nodaba lwesithombe lesike esikhona lapho ke ukhulumile ke ngaso ke mana nesithombe sakamnumzana uNcube uma ngabe ubuka kamazinyo khala ngaphezulu ke bathi maqhamuka lapha esandleni sokunxeleke kuzinyo lesibili ke laphezulu ke na ke bathi kunento onayikhulumile ukuthi le kunento eshayinayo ke lapho basathi yona lento eshayinayo efana entshakala njengokuthi izinyo legolide bathi ngabe usho njalo yini?
That is correct, my Lord.
Athi yebo ngempela lokho ngikushiya.
And you seek to corroborate this. Actually, that word is not to collaborate, it's to corroborate. You corroborate evidence, you don't collaborate. Corroborate. So you seek to corroborate their assertion with what is contained in Exhibit J, with a little description that you read into record, not so.
But esikhathini ngokukhuluma wenza isiqiniseko futhi ujobelela futhi noma uqhumanisa lo fakazi benkulumo yakho ke futhi nofakazi ekade bukhona ke obakhulunywa obungaphansi kunobukiso ka-exhibit J bathi ngabe kunjalo yini?
That is correct, my lord, but I thought I used the word correlate. That's why I was saying corroboration, it correlates, so we are in agreement. It's
No, thank
corroboration,
you.
not
Yes.
collaboration.
Yeah.
Athi yebo kunjalo ke futhi na uxhumanise le nkulumo eyakhuluma futhi nenkulumo eyakhulunywa lapho ngaphakathi kobufakazi noma ufakazi kodwa bukhona ke lapho ke ngaphansi kwemibukiso ka-exhibit J yabhalwa ke lapho ke uwarrant officer Steenkamp ayitshelwa abufakazi kade bekhona ngaphakathi kulela khaya.
Thank you, Brigadier.
Lena
We're
yafunda
learning
ka-
every day. We're learning every day. Yes. Ain't nobody owns monopoly over wisdom. We're learning every day. Thank you, Brigadier. Now, this tells me that this information that this allegation that accused number 2, that one of the suspects who entered the house might have had, the first suspect who entered the house might have had what resembles a golden teeth in his upper jaw. It's information that was already there when you first laid your hand on the case docket, not so?
Wathi malana nolwazi lolu oqhamukile ukuthi ke umsola oqala mhlawumbe isigilamkhubo soqala esangena ngaphakathi kwalela khaya ukuthi bekanezinyo legolide bathi lolwazi lolu ulwazi owaluthola selokhona ngaphakathi kwedocket ngaphambi kokuthi wena idocket ulithole kuwena akusenjalo yini?
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kuyiqiniso lokho.
And subsequent to that too, in 2020 there were suspects which got arrested, who are now before court here, who amongst them is accused number 3, who you saying he is the one who has got a teeth that resemble a gold in his left-hand quadrant, upper quadrant, not so?
Bathi ke uma ngemuva kwesikhathi xa uqhamuka kumnyaka 2014 kuze kufinca kumnyaka 2020 bathi ngomnyaka 2020 sekwaboshwa ke abasolwa ke lapho ke labo baqhamuka ngaphambi kwenkosi yenkantolo esikhathini samanje futhi kubona ke abasolwa ababoshwa ke lapho ke bathi khona ke umsolwa wesithathu ke lo wena ukhulume ngayo ukuthi yena ke unezinyo legolide mhlawumbe unento etshengakala njengezinyo legolide kumazinyo kwala ngaphezulwana kumazinyo omlomo lakho yena ke emazinyweni akhe ke bathi izinyo lesibili ke uma ngabe ngalana egcineni ehlangothini lasesandleni sokunxeleke uma ngabe usiya ngalana ehlangothini lasesandleni sokudla.
Yes, my lord. That is based on this picture that is before me.
Yes.
Athi yebo futhi lokho into ayikhulumile eqhamuka noma ayibonile kulesithombe lesi esikhona la ngaphambi kwakhe.
Now, even accept that picture, the information that you read into record, which is a description that Kelly gave to Mrs. Steenkamp, it's indicated that the suspect who was having a firearm in his possession had a gold in his teeth, not so?
Bathi mana nenkulumo ke eyakhulunywa ngoKelly Khumalo ayitshela lapho warrant officer Steenkamp ukuthi isigilamkhubo esangena qala kulo muzwe yakhe kade sinezinyo legolide ke na kasinjalo?
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kuyiqiniso lokho.
And at all material times, let me not say at all material times, soon after the arrest of these accused persons that are before court here, the state formed a viewpoint that the person who had a firearm in his possession was accused number 3, not so?
Bathi ngemuva ukuthi baboshwe ke abasola bathu ngaphambi kwenkosi yenkantolo ithimba noma ihlangothi lezoshishiso amahlangothi lezombuso ke lasho njalo athi khona ke umsola wesithathu yena kade aphethe ke sibhamkena.
Yes, my lord.
Bathi yebo.
Did you then do anything with this information?
Bathi ngabe khona ke into wayenza malana nolwazi lolu?
Which information? The one in relation to Exhibit J? Or which
The one in relation to the gold.
Bathi malana nolwazi olahambisana nodaba lwegolide.
So, yes, my lord. So what I've done, this is now, if I can have an indulgence to explain, so that it will make sense.
Yes.
Athi yebo khona ke into wayenza kepha uma angaphiwa isikhathi ukuthi achaze ngogcwele.
We started with accused number 2, my lord, insofar as taking him to Tlakweng, because before we go to number 3, 4, and 5, the arrest, or rather the focus, first led us to accused number 1, subsequently to number 2, and then accused 2 was then taken to the dentist. This is now in the Northwest, and that was because in this same exhibit, J, Makaleni, if you look at the description that it gives, other than the wood, it seems to suggest that this accused, this suspect B, may have had a gold incision, according to the description. And that's what drove us now to the examination, the dental examination of accused number 2, my lord.
Yes.
Athi-ke lapho uma aqala le nkulumo ke athi baqala ngomsola wokuqala ke lapho ke bese ngemuva umsola wokuqala bese bahlangabezana nomsola wesibili ke ngemuva kade bahlangabezana nomsola wesibili athi mayelana nodaba lwenkulumo abayithola iqhamuka kumageleni kuukuthi lo lesigila mkhoba sesibili ke lapho ke bathi bakathi uthize uMakaleni naso ngatholakala ukuthi mhlawumbe sinalo ke ezinye legolide ke athi kukula khona bathatha kumsolo wesibili ke bese bamikisa lapho ku province lase Northwest eTlakweng ekuthizeni ahambe bayomhlola ke lapho ukuthi ngabe ayohlola ke dentist udokotela kwamazinyo ukuthi ngabe unalo yini izinye legolide noma kana.
Now, the report, my lord, I think it was made available to the court, speaks for itself. But subsequent to that, my lord, when we now had sight of accused 3, 4, and 5, I wanted to embark on that exercise. But during the course of investigation and research, it became clear to me, my lord, that so there were the various aspects that came up that informed me to come to the decision that I will refer to.
Athi-ke lapho ke khona ke ucwaningo lakadokotela mhlawumbe incwadi ebhalwe udokotela khona la ngaphambi kusenkantolo athi futhi ngemuva ngaphambi ukuthi ajubelele kuyona ke khona ke udaba laqhamuka lapho ke ngesikhathi kade qhamuka udaba lolo ke athi la khona ke bagcina sebahamba nomsolo wesibili nowesithathu nowesine nowesihlanu ke lapho ke.
But insofar as accused number 3, my lord, what we have done, I tried as a team to obtain medical records from Johannesburg prison, because that is where we knew he was detained, and that's where we visited him. So effort were made to get medical records to establish as to whether at any stage from the time of his admission or the time when he was seen by the doctors was he ever treated or seen with a gold tooth. The medical records, my lord, were not found at that hospital to date.
Athi lapho ke uyazi ukuthi umsola wesithathu uma ekhuluma phecelezi ngodaba lomsola wesithathu ke lapho ke athi uyazi ukuthi umsola wesithathu kade ngaphansi kwejele lasegoli ke lapho ke athi futhi ngesikhathi aya kujela khona ke bazama ukuthizeni bathole ukuthi ngesikhathi sade hlangabezana mhlawumbe ehlangana nodokotela lapho ke ngaphansi kwesibhedlela salapho ke Johannesburg prison athi wazama ukuthi athole lapho ke ama medical record ushuthi ushikelele phansi kabo dokotela ukuthi ngesikhathi ekhulumisana nomsola wesithathu ngabe kade analo yini izinto legolide noma kade anganalo lapho ke kephathi leyo nto leyo ayikaze kwaba into akazi kwaba into ephumelelayo ke leyo ke athi kuze kufice esikhathini samanje lokho abakaze bawathole ke ama medical records.
Secondly, further to that, my lord, was that during the research, this is now during the course of investigation, it came to my attention that gold tooth, be it gold or silver, are not only fitted surgically. You get these cosmetics ones which are called grills that can be put for cosmetic purposes, easily fit in and removed.
Athi ngesikhathi besebenzisa ukusesha kwecala labo lapho athi kulabo bathola khona ke ukuthi umuntu akhona kufaka izinyo legolide le ababiza mhlambi ke ama grills ke lawo ke la umuntu mhlambi ngafaka izinyo legolide amazinyo le silver lapho ke lela ngabe futhi aphinde alikhiphe.
Now, I'm saying this, my lord, because then if one then went back to the investigation now, leading to these witnesses and this interview on the 29th of October, nowhere from here up to today was evidence found that the suspect A, the first suspect, had a gold incision that was surgically fitted. What you have is that in the description on the upper teeth he had a gold insert, but there's no evidence from this description, but even moving forward during the course of the investigation, that the first suspect A, had a surgical procedure to fit in this gold incision. We don't have that, my lord. So in light of the knowledge that there are grills that can be fit cosmetically, in other words, I could not have come, even if one was found, to say this was fitted surgically and it corroborates this. We don't have such, my lord. All we have is that there's a gold insert on the upper teeth of suspect A. How was it fitted? Was it surgical or cosmetics? That evidence is not there, my lord, insofar as what was described when the incident took place.
Athi-ke lapho ufakazi na-ke ngemuva kokuthi athi khona ke inkulumo le yakhulunywa ngabofakazi bekhona ngaphakathi kwalo muzi loyana kusho izisulu athi zikhona ngaphakathi kwalo muzi loyana-ke kuze kufince esikhathini samanje lapho-ke athi alukho ucwaningo noma mhlawumbe ireport noma mhlawumbe i-medical report abayithola iqhamuka lapha e-surgical lapho-ke noma surgical report eshoyo ukuthi khona njalo-ke umsola wesithathu kade afake izinyo legolide lifaka ngaphansi kodokotela wase-surgical labafaka ama-medical labafaka amagolide khona-ke ngaphansi kodokotela-ke athi kepha-ke mayelana nodaba lolu-ke lapho-ke yena-ke athi mayelana nenkulumo eyakhulunywa abofakazi ade bekhona ngaphakathi kwalo muzi ngesikhathi kade kusenzeka-ke isigameko lesike athi basho khona njalo ukuthi isigilamkhuba sokuqala esangena noma isigebengu sokuqala esangena ngaphakathi kwalela khaya lelana kukuthi kade kumuntu enezinyo legolide lapha kuyena amazinyo akala ngaphezulwana ehlangothini lesandla sasekunxeleke lapho-ke futhi eqhubeka washo khona njalo ukuthi lokho ena akanaso iqiniso ukuthi mhlawumbe-ke lezinyo legolide mhlawumbe uma ngabe belichaza-ke ngabe kade kuyi-cosmetic gold teeth leyo kusho ukuthi le cosmetic isho ukuthi amazinyo wegolide abavame ukuthi abantu mhlawumbe awadwebe labona-ke noma bawafake la mazinyo abawafakayo ukukhabisa nje kuphela bese aphinde babuye futhi-ke bawakhiphe kepha engafakiwe abodokotela bangeqiniso.
Now, based on that, my lord, I could not take this matter further, and I'm referring now prior to Advocate Mnisi requesting that his time to be taken for dental examination. I'm saying for the purpose of investigation, I could not take it further because, as I said, one, I did not have evidence that indicates that it was surgical. There was none. What we know is the description of the gold tooth. Two, the availability of the grills, which are easily available on the market, and we don't know even that it was then fitted. It was a difficulty, my lord. And thirdly, the issue of the files, because one had hoped that if we get the medical records where he was incarcerated from 2015, perhaps then one can get guidance if indeed it was there. Because I could see when we speak to him that he didn't have. This is now 2020 now moving forward. When we interviewed accused number 3 or engaged accused number 3, and when we took his warning statement, I realized the following: that the gold tooth was not there and the dreadlocks were not there. That was not there. So he was a completely changed person from what is contained in the exhibit on the downloads of his pictures. So I couldn't take it further, my lord.
Ufakazi bekakhulu bakhona njalo ukuthi na-ke lapho-ke ngesikhathi u-Advocate Mnisi bekamcela khona ukuthi amphoqa ukuthi akathole-ke ama-medical report-ke kamsola wesithathu kakhuluma phecelezi ngodaba legolide-ke lapho-ke athi yena-ke owakwenza ngesikhathi lesi bahlangana naye lapho-ke ngeminyaka 2020-ke waqapha ukuthi akanalo izinyo legolide futhi ama-threats akanawo-ke lapho-ke kepha uma hlehlela imuve ekhuluma futhi mayelana nodaba langomnyaka 2015 lathi agcine khona ngaphansi kwejele lasegoli-ke lapho-ke athi wazama ekuthizini athole ama-medical report kamsola wesithathu-ke lapho-ke okukuthi ngabe ngomnyaka 2015 lathi agcine khona ngaphansi kwejele lasegoli okuwukuthi ngabe kade analo yini izinyo legolide noma kade anganalo izinyo legolide-ke lapho-ke athi kepha-ke ngeshwa-ke nangebhadi lawo ama-medical report asesibhedlela ase-Johannesburg prison akaze awathole kuze fincele lapho esikhathini samanje-ke lapho-ke athi kepha-ke khona-ke udaba lolu angathanda ukuthi mhlawumbe atshele ngesenkantolo-ke mayelana nodaba lama-grills lapho-ke akhulume ngawo noma mhlawumbe ama-cosmetic gold teeth noma ama-silver teeth-ke lapho-ke athi lokho kuvame ukuthi esikhathi esiningi abantu bayifake amazinyo cosmetic akuwegolide-ke usho ukuthi lawo khabisa abavame ukuthi bayifake bona-ke labo-ke abantu esikhathini esiningi athi yena-ke into ayiqapha ukuthi uqala-ke uqhamuka ngonyaka 2015 la bagcine khona ngaphansi kwejele lasegoli kuze fince ngonyaka 2020 kuze fince esikhathini samanje kakaze wathole ama-medical report asitshelayo kabanzi ukuthi ngesikhathi abodokotela abaningi abahlukene walapho ngaphansi kwejele lasegoli kade bekhulumisana naye umsola wesithathu ukuthi ngabe baqapha yini ukuthi ngabe unalo yini izinyo legolide kuyena noma kanayo.
That's what I did, my lord, in pursuance of this description of the gold tooth, my lord.
Athi lokho-ke abakwenza-ke nodaba lolu abakhuluma ngalo ukuthi kade anezinyo legolide-ke.
Now, Brigadier, when you decided to take Ntanzi, that's now Mr. Ntanzi, accused number 2, for medical observation whether or not he had a golden teeth, did you have knowledge that his teeth could have been surgically fitted?
bathi ngesikhathi lesothatha umnumzana uNtanzi umekisa ke kudokotela wamazinyo ke ethizeni enzeke inhlolo kuyena ngabe mhlawumbe unwalo ulwazi lokuthi mhlawumbe izinyo legodela wade ukhuluma ngalo ke walifaka udokotela osemthethweni noma?
No, my lord, I didn't, and that's why, if I may have an indulgence to go back, that's why I said I want to explain it in the sequence of the event. So when accused 2, Mr. Ntanzi, was taken, I did not have the knowledge. Subsequent to the report, the knowledge of the grills, the fact that they can be fitted without the surgical procedure, came into effect after I received the document now from the doctor now, the dentist now, to say this is our findings, the record speaks for itself. Subsequent to that, in the investigation of trying to establish that, could it be that gold tooth could be there, removed, undetected, what factors could actually motivate it? This information that I referred to, my lord, then kicks in. And then I went back also to check in the docket and realized that as much as we took accused number 2 to the doctor, nowhere in the docket does it indicate that any of suspect A or B had a surgical procedure to fit in the gold tooth and subsequently then went and commit this crime. So I was flowing to say the first thing, it was a report. I didn't have knowledge that it was fitted surgically because the docket is silent on that part. It doesn't say that. But subsequent to the report of Dr. Tlhokwe, I then realized, my lord, that even if we move forward with this exercise, the fact of the matter, I do not know that suspect A or even suspect B had a surgical procedure to fit in the gold tooth. And the availability of this cosmetic teeth in the market without a surgical procedure, the grills, made it difficult for me to say now, was the teeth that was seen by witnesses surgically fitted or cosmetic, my lord?
Kade aphila mana lodaba lombuzo uqhamukile ukuthi ngesikhathi lesi bekamnikeza lapho kumsola wesibili ke umnumzana uNtanzi kudokotela kwamazinyo ke ukuthi dental observation medical doctor lapho ke ngabe yini abayithola ke lapho ke athi kula waqhamuka khona kudaba lwama grills futhi ke amazinyo abantu bavanga ukuthi mhlawumbe bafake lapho ke abathenga lapho kuma market futhi makakhuluma khona njalo ke athi kula thola khona ke atholakala khona ke ngaphansi ke cosmetic ke lawo lapho ke amazinyo khona wegude lawo abantu abaningi bavanga ukuthi bayifake wona ke isaphinde bawakhipheke kepha athi mala nodaba lofakazi athi likhona ke lapho ke mala nodaba lwedocket ke lo ukuthi ususpect esho mhlawumbe isigamkhosi uqala mhlawumbe isigebenzi uqala futhi nesesibili ke laba khona khona kodaba lwegolide lamazinyo ke kepha athi abakhulumile ngogcwele futhi nangesiqiniseko sokuthi amazinyo lawo egolide ke ngabe bawafaka abodokotela bangempela noma abodokotela bomkhonyuvu ke lapho ke athi ulolwazi lolo olungekho abangalibhalile ukuthi lamazinyo begolide bawafaka ngaphansi kwama medical dental surgery noma kazi bafake ngaphansi kwawo ke lapho ke futhi ungabe ijobela inkulumo yakhe athi ngemuva kokuthi athole ke ireport kadokotela eshoyo khona nje athi umsolo wesibili kade anganalo ke izinyo legolide ke lapho ke noma akaza kabe nalo mhlawumbe noma akatholi lutho phecelezi nodaba lezinyo legolide ke athi kula uqinqa khona ke ulwazi lokuthi abantu abaningi bavama ukuthi bahambe balapho kuma market angaphandle ayimele okugebengu ke mhlawumbe igila mkhuba ke umkhonyuvu bese wathenga ke amazinyo legolide bese babuye bawafake kubona ke njengokuthi bakhabisa ke lapho kubona ke emazweni wabo.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Brigadier. Now, there's this other one aspect that I want to clear with you. At length, you gave testimony that there were some photos which were downloaded from accused number 3's phone, which resembled photos that were also found in Kelly's phone. And those photos were also found in Longwe's phone. I'm now referring to the bag of money. Is that so?
Bathi ngogcwele khona ke udaba lwezithombe okhulumile ngazo ukuthi lathola ithombe zakhona zatholakala noma zatholakala ngaphakathi kocingo lomsola wesithathu futhi ngaphakathi kocingo lakwaLongwe futhi ngaphakathi kocingo lakwaKhilo Khumalo ithombe zakhona lapho esuthi isithombe zesikhwama esinemali akusinjalo yini?
It's correct in this instance, my lord, that I did indicate that, but it's one photo. Perhaps let me start there. Yes. It's not different photos in the downloads of accused number 1. My recollection
Number 3.
Number 3, my
Yes.
apologies. Thanks, Advocate. My recollection of the statement or the briefing that I got from the analyst is a bag of money which is contained in the downloads of accused number 3,
Yes.
as well as in the downloads of Ms. Kelly Kumalo
Yes.
and Longwe Twala.
Yes.
So that, but it's one bag, you know, you get it in these 3 gadgets, my lord. That's
Thank
my
you.
understanding.
athi yena ngokuzwisisa kwakhe ke isithombe lesithombe sisodwa vo athi ngesikhathi kade bedownloada ke iy'thombe kade bethula ke iy'thombe ezingaphakathi kocingo lwakakheli khumalo umsola wesithathu futhi nolongethwala ke athi khona ke isikhwama esinemali lapho ke see-through bag money leyo ke athi basithola isithombe sisodwa kade sikhona phakathi kocingo lwakamsola wesithathu ukheli khumalo futhi nolongo.
Now, and we know that you have been referring to Kelly Kumalo as a person of interest, not so?
bathi siyazi ubukhuluma bubiza ukheli khumalo noma bosho ukheli khumalo njengomuntu enisamcingayo sinjalo.
I may have used that name, my lord, yes.
Athi yebo ngabe ngisebenzisile ke lo gama lelo.
Mr. With regard to Mr. Mnube, that is beyond reproach because he's here at court. He's actually beyond being called a person of interest, not so. He's an accused.
Bathi mayelana uma sesikhuluma ke ngumnumzana uMncube akenakho umuntu enesamfuna kepha ke umuntu seyanamthola manje uqhamuka ngaphambi kwinkosi yenkantolo njengomsolo akusenjalo yini?
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
Now, by virtue of the fact that there is that bag of money, same bag of money that was found in Kelly's phone, accused number 3's phone, and Longwe's phone, does that then make Longwe Twala also a person of interest?
Athi khona ke umbuzo ukuthi uma ngabe sesithola ke isithombe semali sisodwana phakathi kobomakhalekhukhwini wabantu abathathu abahlukene umsola wesithathu ukheli khumalo futhi nolongo Twala manje uthi nayo Longo Twala ngabe omunye wabantu enesamcinga noma omunye wabantu enesamfunayo?
No, my lord. So perhaps to answer it straight correctly, the answer is no.
Thank
but
you.
then, if I can have an indulgence to explain the difference between this bag of money, because if you take it in isolation, yes, it raises questions, suspicions based on the fact that you know where you find it. But I don't think that in isolation, my lord, and I wanted to go there after I give the opportunity to the interpreter to interpret that you cannot now make a person or focus on a person as a person of interest solely because of one bag or one piece of evidence. When it comes to Ms. Kelly Kumalo, and I've testified about this, there are a number of things that came up that seems to point to her as being the trigger point. And that is why I then said she was then viewed, insofar as the investigation is concerned, as a person of interest, and subsequently the application for the J50, my lord. But it was a collective of things, not just one bag of money. The bag was there. Issues of the cell phones, we dealt with it without taking the court backwards. So it was collective of a number of evidence that was collected, pointing to things that seems to be not proper, my lord, which is then different when you come to Mr. Longwe Twala insofar as the bag of money is concerned. But I'm not saying it did not raise concerns or questions as to why this bag that is found in these 2 other gadgets is also found with him.
Uma ephendula kufakazi bana nombuzo kade ubuzwa ke nake athi uma ekhuluma ngodaba lakwaLongo Twala cha akenake umuntu abasamcingayo noma mhlawumbe umuntu abamfunayo ke lapho ke ngoba ke khona nje ufakazi obubodwana akade ebuthulile ngaphakathi kocingo lwakhe usho ukuthi ulwazi noma mhlawumbe yebo ulwazi lodaba lesithombe nje kuphela isithombe leso sinemali phakathi kusona ke nje kuphela kepha uma ngabe sikakhuluma ngokheli khumalo athi yebo umuntu esisamfuna noma mhlawumbe umuntu esamcingayo futhi kungako senza isicelo sethu sokuthi sithole ke J50 ke lapho ke sincede ukuthi aboshwe ke lapho ke bathi udaba J50 ke kulapho athi udaba lukakheli khumalo athi bathola ke ufakazi obuningi obuhambisanayo malana naye futhi bathola ukuthi nake ukhona phakathi nendawo la kulo daba lolu ke uma kade beseshaka icala athi kungako babenza isicelo se-application ngamacelo se-J50 kungemuva ukuthi bathola ke ufakazi obuningi phecelezi naye yedwana.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, on the clip of a video that was played yesterday here, were requested to give your opinion. No, not really opinion. You were requested to describe what is appearing on the video, and then you went on to describe the clothes that the person is wearing that's working on the video.
That is correct, my lord.
bathi masikhuluma ke malana nodaba oqhamukile ke udaba lesikhanyiso sevidiyo kade bedlala ngaphambi kwesenkantolo wathi khona komuntu okhona le video futhi into ezikhona ngaphansi kwevidiyo lena ke la bacela khona ukuthi awusitshele ukuthi ngabe yini ubona ngaphakathi kwale video suka kade ubona umuntu ohamba agqoke ingubo ezinjani ke lapho ke athi yebo kunjalo.
I'm not so sure whether you, in your description as to what is happening in the video, did you also describe the motor vehicle that you see in there? It's common cause. It's a Mazda. What is it now?
athi akanasi iqiniso ukuthi ngabe mhlawumbe ukhulumile
Yes, it
yini
is that car that is appearing there. I don't see I can't see it clearly.
athi akanaso ummeli athi akanaso isiqiniseko ukuthi ngabe ukhulumile yini mayelana nodaba lwemoto eqhamukile mhlawumbe imoto ejangalayo kulo daba lwevidiyo lena akathi akaboni kahle ukuthi mhlawumbe ukuthi ngabe imoto enjani ke lena ke.
Yes, indeed, my lord, I did describe it. I said it's a BMW
okay.
X6 belonging to the deceased. It's
Yeah.
a vehicle that was driven by the deceased the previous day when he arrived at this place, my lord, at the crime scene. This is a crime scene. That's where he was shot. So that vehicle is a BMW X6 belonging to the deceased, my lord.
athi yebo bekakhulumile ngodaba lwemoto ukuthi kade kuyimoto enjani kade kuyimoto iBMW X6 futhi kade kuyimoto kamufi iyona ke imoto afika eshayela ngayo ke ngelanga leli washona ngayo kulamuzi wendawo yesigameko.
Thank you. Now, this is what the state requested you to do. Actually, this was a question that came from the state. What was the occasion there? What answer did you give to that state's question?
bathi khona kumuzo qhamukele ukuthi kuhlangothi lezombuso ke siyabashushisa ukuthi ngabe mhlawumbe kade kumcimbi muni ethi ukhona ke lapho ke lapha yana.
I'm not sure, my lord, if I described the occasion because all I recall is that it was during the day, as I said, and I could see Zandi, the lady now, and because I described the gentleman as Mr. Mokgoatlheng, I described the second person as Zandi Khumalo, and I said the vehicle belongs to the deceased, and that it was during the day.
Yes.
I think the specific occasion, I don't think I went that far to say what was happening or where were they coming from. I don't think I went that far insofar as the occasion is concerned.
athina ngakacabanga ukuthi waphendula mayelana nombuzo ukuthi ubuza ukuthi kade ubuziwe ukuthi ngabe mhlawumbe kade kusenzakala ini lapha yakhe lesikhanyiso salinto mhlawumbe kade kumcimbi muni kade ukhona ke lapha yana athi kepha ke into ayikhuluma icabanga ukuthi uyikhulumile kuwukuthi umuntu wesibili oqhamuka kule video kuwukuthi kade kuzandi Khumalo noma uzandi Khumalo lo wesibili ke ohamba noLongothwala kule video lena ke lapho ke ngoba izwathi ukhulumile ukuthi lo muntu wesilisa okhona lapha uLongothwala bese lona usimama okhona ke athi uzandi Khumalo futhi athi kade kusemini ngelanga leli ukuthi bethutshulwa ngayo.
Thank you, Brigadier. I'm going to request the operator. There's something that is quickly drawing my eye there on the video when the lady, I don't know who that lady is, when the video, when the door opens, the lady seems to be holding something in their hand that looks to me like a cartoon of Chibuko. I don't know. Yeah, that yellowish thing. What is that? Is that not Chibuku?
No. If I may assist, my lord, it looks like a Macheu, a container of Macheu. That's what I see.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah. I totally missed it. I thought, honestly, I said that was a Chibuku. I said, I will need to clarify with you. It looks like a Macheu. Macheu eluded my thinking. No, but thanks a lot. Yeah.
bathi khona ke umuntu osimama uma ngabe ulosilisa ke usapha semoto khona ke lento thiphethulo umuntu osimama ophuma ngaphakathi kule moto ke manje umeli bafisa ukwazi ukuthi ngabe yini le ejala ngathi lukuzana ichibuku ke lapho ushithi lokho iphuza abantu abadakwayo ke lapho athi ufakazi ke ejala ngathi ke amakheu ke lawana ajala aphethulo umuntu osimama.
No, but thanks, Brigadier. Now, the question was, what answer did you give to the state when they asked you, when the state asked you what was the occasion, and then you just gave your answer. Now, yesterday, this is what you said.
Athi beyakuzothi ngabe mhlawumbe waphendula wathini ke ngabe umbuzo umhla kuthimba labashushisi noma umbuso wadubuza uthi ngabe mhlawumbe kusenzeka ini lesikhanyiso sevideo ke athi nayi ke impendulo owayikhuluma ilazo ibuya ikhuluma ngokulandelayo.
And I open quote.
Athi ucapha kwenkulumo yakho ke oyikhulumile.
Although there is no date there, the request from the state was for the date of the 27th of October 2014.
Wathi uthize nanoma ilanga lingavilile lapha nafanele lingabhaliwe. Kepha ke ithimba lezombuso mhlawumbe ihlangothi lezoshushiso lacela ukuthi utholeke izinto ezisenzeka ke nelanga la nge-27 zaka-October ngomnyaka ka-2014.
Do you still remember that?
I do recall, my lord.
Thank you.
Wathi ngasakhumbula yini lokho athi yebo ngisakhumbula.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, with that in mind, you went on to try and try and disprove the assertion that was put by Mr. Mngombe Zulu to one of the witnesses that on the following day, which is actually the assertion that Longwe sustained an injury at the time when the incident took place. Do you still remember that?
Bathi ngapsakhumbula yini izolo ngesikhathi nakade uphika mina nodaba lolu elakhona umnumzana sile washona ke advocate Mngombe Zulu ukuthi umnumzana uLongwe ethwala kade kuyisiqhwala ke ngemuva kwelanga lesigameko noma wadutshulwa noma wadubuleka naye ngelanga lesigameko.
That is correct. I do recall, my lord.
Athe ukuqiniso ngisakhumbula lokho.
Thank you. And I must just hasten to demystify everybody here that what Mr. Mngombe Zulu put to that witness was that in terms of his own investigation, Mr. Mngombe Zulu, what he put to the witness was that in terms of his own investigation, he came across information that Longwe also got injured when the incident took place. In other words, that should not be imputed as a version that came from any of the accused here.
Athi khona ke udaba lwenkulumo ngathanda ayilungise lapho ke ukuthi umnumzana Mngombe Zulu wathi ekuphenyeni kwecala lakhe noma ngesikhathi baphenya icala esishicala eyisheshela zenzela ukuphenya kwecala lakhe leli ukuthi mina nolwazi ke alithola ukuthi naye ke uLongwe wadlimala ke ngelanga lesigameko futhi inkulumo leyo ingaqhamuki kubasolo.
Thank you.
So, my lord, if I may have an indulgence to respond.
Okay.
Yeah. So firstly, and I want to go back because I agreed with Advocate Mnisi that indeed I made reference of, on the date of the 27th of October 2014. Now, my lord, when you refer to that part, it needs to be taken in the broader context that when I was giving that response, because I did give that response,
yes,
and it's in relation to the footage. If you look at the footage, there's no date. If you look at this footage, it doesn't indicate where. It's because I know the place. If you don't know the place, you'll have difficulty to know where was even this taken. And two, you'll have a difficulty of knowing these two individuals if you don't know them. So that is the first part.
Athi yebo uyahambisana nenkulumo ekhulunywa lapho umnumzana Advocate Mnisi lapho ke athi kepha ke uma ngaba ke umuntu oyedwa ngazabe ukuthi ivideo lena ke ngeke azi ukuthi ivideo bathatha kuphi ke nendawo futhi ingasiphiki isikhathi ngoba vele alikho ilanga likhona ke lesikhanyiso sethu sevideo ukuthi ivideo bathatha ngelanga elithize ngenyanga ethize futhi umnyaka othize athi futhi ke umunye umuntu uyozuza ukuthi ngabe abobani ke abantu abatshakala ababili bakhona ke ivideo lena kuma ngabe engabazi kepha na ngoba indawo esigameko uyayazi futhi nalabo lekhona ngaphakathi uyabazi.
Now, the second point, my lord, the existence of this video came as a result of a Section 205 subpoena from the state, from us, requesting ENCA to give us the data of the 27th of October 2014.
Yes.
And that is where now I moved into that date that Mngombe Zulu is referring. Advocate Mnisi, my apologies, Advocate, that is referring to. So it was informed by the application that came from us as the state to the NCA, and then they provided this data. So if you look at the two, the assumption that one can draw, and I'm referring to myself, is that this is in response of the request, which says data or recordings of the 27th of October 2014. Now, if you take that, that's why I said you need to take this collectively, my lord. You now take what we see, which is then in response of the request for the recordings of the 27th of October 2014, because the subpoena speaks itself clearly what we need. If you take that into account to say this recording will then be in response of this, and the date therefore will be the 27th of October 2014, and now you read into what was alleged by the late Mr. Mngomezulu, that Mr. Mokgoatlheng shot himself. That would have been the previous night, and you see him walking like this on the following day. I was saying it like that, my lad. If you take that into account and you follow like that, it doesn't narrate, because this is not a view of a person who would have shot himself in an ankle, the way he walks, my lord.
Athi lapho ke isikhangiso lesi sevideo ke basithola ke ngemuva ukuthi kade ibhaleke lapho ke bathini entertain noma onondaba ke lapho ke bade senze isicelo sabo saka section 205 ukuthi utholekela ukushicilela pha ukade kushicilelwe ke noma idata yelanga la nge-27 zaka October ngonyaka 2014. Athi kungemuva kwesicelo lesabasenza ukuze babuye bathole ke ivideo lena ke khona lapha phambi kwesenkantolo, nanoma ingenaso ke isikhathi mhlawumbe ilanga abayithatha ngalo ke uma ngabe siyitshaka khona ngalana ke bathi bayithola kubonondaba ke ngelanga kushuthi izinhlelo mhlawumbe izinto mhlawumbe igameko ezenzeka ngelanga la nge-27, futhi athi kungakho ehambisana nenkulumo ka-advocate Mnisi ukuthi ke lapho ke yakhona usele washona ke lapho ke advocate Mngomezulu ukuthi ngesikhathi kade kusenzeka isigameko lapho ke othize wesilisa kulonge ethwala ke ukuthi naye ke wazidubula ke noma wathola kudubuleka onyaweni lakhe ke ngelanga leli lokushona kukamufi ke lapho ke kepha babuya bathi nanoma kade alimele lapho ke ngelanga la nge-26, kepha kuma sesibuka kule video lena ke siyambona ukuthi uhamba njengomuntu ongajengakali njengomuntu olimele, kepha uhamba njengomuntu ophile kahle futhi ongalimele.
Lastly, my lord, in my recollection, and perhaps then I can be assisted with the version, the records of Mr. Mngomezulu, but from my recollection, I don't seem to recall reading a passage in what I was asked to read, my lord, where Mr. Mngomezulu says in his own investigation. I don't seem to be recalling reading that part, that he was actually doing his own investigation and then he was putting the version of his own investigation in what I read, and I'm referring to what I read. I don't recall seeing the part that says he was conducting his own investigation.
Athi uma ngabe ephosile lapho engakhulumile iqiniso ngosenkantolo bamlungise lapho ke, kepha yena athi akakhumbuli ngesikhathi bekafunda kokucela phansi ukuthi umnumzana osele washona ke ubaba uMngomezulu ukuthi wakhuluma ukuthi yena ke ngesikhathi lesi bekenza ukusesha kwecala yena azenzela khona ke lapho kathi kulapho wathola khona lolwazi lolo walithola.
Yes, my lord. No, I've now double checked the recordings, the proceedings, my lord. It doesn't say he was doing his own investigation. In fact, it says version, putting this version to Colonel Mangena. He was cross-examining Mr. Mangena. So he put a version, not an investigation, according to this record.
Athi mina nosicelo phansi ke ubaba uMngomezulu noma umnumzana uMngomezulu ukade kumele osebashona ngeqala leli ke la kade akhuluma khona ke no umnumzana ke uMangena ke ngelanga la nge-28 zaka August ngaka 2014. Athi yena ke kulawa amtshela khona ukuthi wena ngitshela ke lenkulumo noma lehlangothi lenkulumo, kepha akaze akubeke ngogcwele ukuthi yena ke uyasho ukuthi yena ke wenza ukusesha kwecala azenzela yena mathupha.
Thank you, Brigadier. There's, as we assist the accused in the conduct of their defense, the defense would always do their own investigation on how best can they assist the accused in the conduct of their case. And so sometimes we come up, actually more often than not, we would say, I am putting it to you that this is. But specifically when something comes from our client, we specifically say, I've got instructions that, or this is what my clients, if needs be, will come and say. Do you understand? So that's the difference. That was a bit of an education background.
Athi-ke manje ummeli khona-ke okuhlukile phakathi kokuthi lapho-ke uma ngabe bemele bona-ke bamele esikhathini esiningi bavame ukuthi bona-ke batshela abofakazi abangaphansi kwesifungo noma bethu ubufakazi babo ukuthi mina bayabatshela lokhu okulandelayo uma behlalele icala noma behlela icala labantu ababamele ngaphambi kwenkosi senkantolo-ke athi khona-ke ukuthi mhlawumbe abasho ngokugcwele ukuthi umuntu amele ngaphambi kwenkosi senkantolo usho lokhu okulandela kepha bavame ukuthi basebenzise igama lokuthi mengatshela-ke luhlangothi lolu olukuwukuthi nalokhu nalokhuya.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, in essence, what you're saying is that you responded to the question by the state and spoke about what could have happened on the 27th of October 2014 in what you saw on the video there. In other words, you aligned your evidence on what you saw on the video there to be on the 27th of October 2016 because the content of the subpoena was specific that they needed a video that was allegedly taken on the 27th of October 2014.
Bathi le video lo wathola-ke wona-ke ngemuva kokuthi ithimba labashushisi noma ihlangothi lezombuso-ke licele ukuthi ithola-ke igameko ekade senzeka lapho-ke ngelanga lange-27 zaka-October ngomnyaka ka-2014 bese yona-ke njengoba ubushiwe ukuthi wenza isicelo sakho ngaphansi kwezomthetho ka-254-ke lapho-ke ukuthi uthole-ke izinto ade zenzeka lapho-ke kule ndawo yesigameko ngelanga lange-27 zaka-October ngomnyaka ka-2014 akusinjalo yini?
I think in summary, my lord, yes, but the subpoena, perhaps to correct, it was not made by me, but the essence of the subpoena, yes, it was requesting data for the recordings of the 27th of October 2014. And as I said, my lord, if you take that video, as much as there's no date, but the issue of the car, this is now when you go to investigation, because if you take that and you read it into docket, you will find certain facts that indicates that indeed this was the day, because subsequent to this, the vehicle was taken. This is now the vehicle of the accused. So, but answering Advocate Mnisi, yes, there was a subpoena generated requesting information or data of a specific day, and that day was the 27th of October 2014 insofar as Mr. Longotwala, because he was the point of focus, and then that's what we received back as a statement, Lord.
Athi yebo khona-ke kunjalo uma ngabe bebuka lapho isicelo senziwa ngaphansi kwezomthetho ka-205 athi kepha isicelo sasikaze senziwe uye-ke ufakazi isicelo leso-ke athi kepha bacela ukuthi lapho-ke bathole-ke malana negama yomhlaba noma mhlawumbe malana nezinto ezenzeka ngelanga lange-27 zika-October ngomnyaka ka-2014 athi futhi ungabuka kule video lena-ke athi khona-ke imoto kamufi ekhona-ke lapho kule ndawo yasehlolo noma mhlawumbe indawo sigameko-ke ekade ikhona noma mhlawumbe kade ijengakala-ke kule video lena-ke athi futhi kepha ngemuva ukuthi bona athi ngemuva kwesikhathi-ke bese umuntu khona athathwa-ke uma bakade bona bengenela kabanzi ekusisheni kwicala labo-ke lapha kulo muzi wesigameko.
So, in essence, Brigadier, although you prefer your testimony to fit the date of the 27th of October 2014, you, in essence, do not know when this video was actually taken. So, or this clip, not video, but this clip of a video.
But nanoma kade becela ukuthi uthola-ke igameko kade senzeka ngelanga lange-27 zaka-October ngonyaka ka-2014 kepha bathi wena-ke ngokugcwele noma wena-ke ngokhethekile awazi ukuthi ngabe kade yini noma awazi ukuthi le video lena-ke noma le clip bayithatha ngaliphi-ke ilanga.
No, I can't independently say that, my lord.
Athena-ke yena-ke ngoba-ke uyimela ngeke asho ngokugcwele ukuthi ivideo la bayithatha ngaliphi-ke ilanga.
Thank you. I think it will also be an unfair question for me to ask you whether on the 27th of October 2014, were you there when the video was taken? Who saw it? How, under what circumstances? Whether you, 27th of October 2014, you met the two people that are depicted there. I think those will be unfair questions to you because you bear no knowledge as to what date this video was taken. So,
bathi-ke ngabe akuyona yini into engalungile ukuthi mhlawumbe noma engaqondi ukuthi ngekubuza ke imibuzo mayelana nodaba lolu video ukuthi mhlawumbe ngabe wena-ke ngelanga lange-27 zaka-October ngonyaka ka-2014 ngabe kade ukhona yini kule ndawo yesigameko noma mhlawumbe le video ngesikhathi kade beyithatha-ke ngabe kade ukhona wena-ke mathupha lapho-ke futhi ngabe wayibona yini ngesikhathi beyithathwa futhi abe mhlawumbe akutshengisa yona lo muntu kade ayithatha-ke ngabe mhlawumbe akutshengisa ngemuva kokuthi ayithathe futhi ngabe mhlawumbe wahlangana nalabantu abatshengakala bekhona kule video.
No, I will not know, my lord.
Thank you.
Athi cha ngeke ngibe nalo-ke ulwazi lwalo daba lolo.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now, let me and you now try to assist the court.
Uyabonga-ke ummeli ke phathi kuyacela ukuthi wena-ke naye nithi ukulekelela-ke lapho-ke inkosi yenkantolo noma inkantolo.
Now, with the vast and extensive knowledge of investigation, would you dispute it or would you agree with me when I say the person who is best positioned to come and articulate about what is happening in that video, about the date on which that video was taken, about the allegations that were raised by Mr. Mngomezulu against Mr. Longwe? It's Longwe himself, not so, if we are basically trying to assist the court.
Bathi-ke athi-ke ummeli ngabe mhlawumbe uyakuvuma lokhu noma ngabe awukuvumi yini lokhu ukuthi uma sesikhuluma mayelana nodaba lolu ngokukhethekile-ke lapho-ke angeke umuntu ongakhona ukuthi silekelele lapho-ke sithothile ividiyo athathwa ngalephi-ke ilanga kuphi nendawo futhi ngasiphi-ke isikhathi umnumzana uLongwethwala-ke nanoma sekashilo-ke lapho-ke silewashona-ke umnumzana advocate Mngomezulu ukuthi lapho-ke mayelana ney'nsolo esikade ayikhuluma-ke ukuthi uLongwethwala naye-ke walimala ngelanga lesigameko wathola udutshulwa nayo enyaweni lakhe-ke bathi umuntu ongakhona ukuthi abe esimeni esiqondile noma esimeni esikahle sokuthi afike alekelele inkosi yenkantolo futhi nenkantolo mayelana nodaba lolo ukuthi uLongwethwala.
Not necessarily, my lord. I agree he can play a role, but to say perhaps he might be the only option that you can look at, no. Because you can look at, for example, the lady that is there, Miss Kelly, Miss Zandi Kumalo, who was there. She's there. You can see on the video. Obviously, the editors from ENCA, hence the request was made. They'll be able to indicate when was this footage taken. But since we are dealing with a docket that covers the date of the 26th all the way, when statements were made, in particular on the 27th, you'll be able to somewhere place Mr. Longwethwala either at the crime scene or when he was disposing his affidavit to the police on the 27th. Insofar as his condition is concerned, I'm referring now to be responding in relation to what Mr. Mngomezulu is saying, because this is important, to say he shot himself. So independently from this, we can place him going to the police. The statement was taken on the 27th, commissioned. No utterances or assertions are made that he was injured. He came there limping and so forth. In fact, to show the accuracy of the police, my lord, the accuracy of the police, Mr. Tumelo Madlala was wearing a cast, and he was on crutches. Now, if you look at the docket, you will see that it comes out clear that if there was anyone injured wearing a cast, it is actually Mr. Madlala. Hence, even the crutches that he was using, some of them were taken for DNA analysis. That is insofar as someone that could have been injured in the leg, you could find in the docket. You do not find such when it comes to Mr. Longwethwala. So I'm saying, yes, he can play a role, but he cannot be the only one. There are a lot of supporting
Let's
people.
Let's give the interpreter to interpret. I think that's almost a page.
My apologies.
Yes.
My apologies. Yes.
Yeah, hold it there. Then you'll proceed thereafter, Brigadier.
Okay, no, sorry.
Thank you, Council. Thank you, Brigadier. So maphendula kumbuzo la kubhekati yagininda uyasho khona nje ukuthi akuyena kuphela ulongethwala ongabuya alekelele inkosi enkantolo phecelezi nodaba lombuzo oluqhamukile oqhamuka kwa-advocate Mnisi mana nodaba lole video lena kathi uma ngabuka ngaphakathi kwevideo lena khona ke ulongethwala ke futhi nosimama kuzandi ithwala ke futhi athi abantu abangabuya balekelele inkosi enkantolo phecelezi alombuzo kade awukhulumile noma kade noma mala nodaba lwenkulumo yaqhamuka noma insolo ekade zaqhamuka umnumzana omngomezulu sile washona ke ukuthi ulongethwala nakhe wadutshulwa bese wathi udutshulwa enyaweni lakhe ke bese walimala bese waba yisiqhwala ke ngelanga lange-26 ke lapho ke athi uzandi futhi nabonondaba awaqhamuka ngaphansi kwenkampani yase-ENCA athi nabo ke ibona abangakhona ukuba sesimeni esiqondile noma esimeni sikahle ekuthizeni balekelele inkosi enkantolo phecelezi nodaba lombuzo noma nodaba lwenkulumo eyaqhamuka lapho u-advocate Mngomezulu kanensolo khona ke athi insolo wazithola ngesikhathi lesi bekenza ukusesha kwecala lakhe lapho ke athi futhi umuntu abangasho thina ke walimala lapho ke noma kade alimele uTumelo Madlala ngoba kade afake usamende kena ke enyaweni futhi kade ahamba ngama-crash ke athi futhi ilokozana intonga lezi kade asebenzisa lapho nomhla ama-crash kade asebenzisa lapho ke ulokozana uTumelo Madlala ke athi bawathatha zathathwa bese zahamba bayokwenza lapha ama-DNA analysis ukuthi ukuhlola kulokozana kwalama-crash wakhe uTumelo Madlala.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now let's come home now. Does the state have a problem in calling Longethwala to come and give substance towards what is happening or on what is happening on that clip of a video?
Please, my lord. I think we did touch on this aspect yesterday, that it is the discretion of the state to call the witnesses who can assist the court regarding the issues that are in dispute. If the state doesn't call any witness, that witness will be made available to the defense. It's not for a witness to give an opinion on that.
That is, that's a bit ironic, my lord, when the state says it is not for its witness to give an opinion. Throughout this witness's testimony, he has been giving opinions. The state cannot be allowed to appropriate and reprobate. When it fits the state, the witness is not allowed to give an opinion. But when it does not, when it fits the state, the witness is allowed to give an opinion. But in other circumstances, the witness is not allowed to give an opinion. It does not work out like that. You cannot have your cake, you cannot eat your cake and still have it. It does not work out like that, man.
No, man, it's not about giving an opinion. It's about calling off a witness. Calling off a witness, my lord, it's the duty of the state, the prosecuting counsel. It's not the discretion of the investigating officer. The investigating officer, all that he does is to assemble the evidential material, put it to the disposal of the prosecuting counsel. Prosecuting counsel decides which witness to call. It is therefore unfair of Advocate Mnisi to ask the investigating officer as to why is Mr. Longo not being called.
I thought this was a team. Now I realize it's no longer a team. Thank you, Brigadier. I've got no further questions to you. There are other avenues that we basically explore in seeing to it that justice, it's not only done, but it's seen to be done. Thank you, Brigadier.
Thank you, Advocate.
Uyabonga ke umeli futhi atakasenayo ke imibuzo mayana no baba Brigadier Gininda aqedile kumuza ke imibuzo ke.
As it pleases the court, my lord. My lord, I see it's 5-1. May we take an early adjournment and then resume at 2? As the court pleases.
Okay, 2 o'clock then.
All finished.
On that exhibit. So I've asked my technician to assist us with the binning of that footage.
Yes.
Ecala ke umeli omeleke umnumzana uNtanzi ukuthi njengoba senzile njengoba kade benzile ke izolo nesikhathi kade bekhipha ke izithombe lesikhanyiso lesike ukuthi ithi sihlehlele emuva mina nemibukiso yodaba ekhona ngaphakathi ko exhibit DD4B A.
And in your comments and your observation, you said that the ID kit on the left bears a stark resemblance to the photo, which is photo 4 of exhibit DD4B, correct?
That is correct, my lord.
Bathi ukhulumile ke izolo wathi isikhangiso sikhona ngalana ke esandleni sokudla uma ngabe ngibuke nale la ngibuke khona njengamanje ke isikhangiso lesike bathi isithombe esadwetshwayo lapho kwanye sesenkampu ID kit ke leyo ke bese bathi khona ke isithombe somnumzana lapho kuNtanzi wathi uyathi zethombe lokhu kuyafana khona phakathi izithombe lezi athi yebo kunjalo.
But to qualify that, my lord, I said strong resemblance, not exact. So not in the context of say it's sort of like a split. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Athi nje kulungisa lapho kakaza athi kuyafana kepha uthize kunokuningi okukhulu okufanayo.
And a particular feature or characteristic that led you to conclude that these two images bear strong resemblance to each other was the so-called O-type beard on the ID kit, correct?
Bathi into eyenza ukuthi wena ke uthi khona ke okukhulu okufana namashiki ezithombe lezi kuukuthi ngalentsheleke ke enround ke khona lapho ke bathi O shape wentshebe. Ngabe kunjalo yini?
No, not necessarily that, my lord. It's the shape of the face in terms of how it looked like. Because the court will recall that when I testified and said I confronted accused number 2 back on the 18th of June 2020, it was on the basis that I said I see similarities between him and this identity kit. So, and at that time we were not dealing with the issues of the O-shaped beard. It was my view that the identity kit resembles him, and hence I confronted him according to my observation.
Athi na ngesikhathi uyaqala ukuhlangana naye komsolo wesibili ke ngelanga la nge-18 ngenyanga kaJune unyaka 2020 ke athi bekaphethe lesithombe sinapha esadwetshwa ke futhi ngesikhathi bahlangana naye lapho athi kulawa bona khona ukuthi umuntu obahlangana naye futhi nomuntu okhona ngaphakathi kwesithombe kathi bayafana ke uma ebuka isikhangiso noma ke indlela ajakala ngayo ke phakathi kuyena ke ebusweni noma la kuyena ngaphandle ebusweni.
Now, before I go any further, the court then asked you, when was this identity kit compiled? And then you stated that it was on the 29th of October 2014, that is 3 days after the occurrence of the incident. Do you recall that?
Bathi inkosi enkantolo ke ibuzile izolo ukuthi ngabe kahlahle lesithombe sadwetshwayo ukuthi isithombe se-ID kit ukuthi basenza nini ke bese uma uphendula wathi wena ke basidweba ke ngelanga la nge-29 zaka-October ngonyaka 2014 usho ukuthi ke kwelanga lesithathu ke ngemuva kwelanga lesigameko ngabe sakukhumbula yini lokho?
Yes, I do recall that, my lord.
Athi yebo ngisakukhumbula lokho nkosi enkantolo.
And you were specifically referring to the ID kit on the left here. That was compiled on the 29th of October 2014.
Bathi ngabe kade ukhuluma phecelezi nodaba lwe-ID kit ke eyadwetshwa ke lapho ke ngelanga la nge-29 zaka-October ngonyaka 2014 ekhonakala nesandleni sobunxele njengamanje.
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
Now, let me ask you this. Didn't you, on the 16th of June 2020, make a further request to Warrant Officer Steenkamp to the effect that she must make additions to an image of a person of interest by adding dreadlocks and it was dreadlocks, let me see, a hoodie on the 26th of June 2020. Do you recall that?
Date? 26 to 16.
Sorry, it's the 16th of June 2020.
Bathi ngabe uyakhumula yini ukuthi wena awukaze ucele orant officer Steenkamp ekuthizeni ke ngesikhathi besenza ke ID kit yakhe ke edweba yona futhi bese abuye ajobelele kuyona ke umuntu usho ukuthi inwele kube ama threats ukuthi threats lokho lapho ke bese futhi afike aphinde futhi ajobelele ihoodie yena akusinjalo ngabe uyakhumula yini lokho uthi wamcela ngelanga la nge-16 zaka June ngomnyaka ka 2020?
No, I don't recall, Malet. Perhaps if I can be referred to that statement. I do recall that at some stage I asked Warrant Officer Steenkamp to do some alterations insofar as accused number 1 is concerned, to see if he fits the person with the dreadlock. So perhaps if I can be referred to the portion that Mr. Ramsipil is referring to. Just
the
to remind
relevant
myself.
statement, Brigadier, and surely I'll assist you with that. It's A154.
A154.
Yes.
154.
Athi ngofakazi nakasakhumbula kahle malana nodaba loloke kepha ke uma ngabe ummeli angathi kumlekelela malana nodaba loloke bese athi ummeli yena ke ebangamlekelela khona ke le nkulumo lapha ngaphakathi kwekhasi la ka A154.
Yes, my lord. I do have A154.
Athi yebo ke nginayo ke laki mina A154.
And I do confirm that indeed. I did ask, but now I must just check the date before perhaps I confirm.
Yes.
Yes, I confirm A154, my lord, indicates the date of 16 June 2020. I can confirm it, my lord.
Athi yebo ke ngiyavuma ke lokho futhi A154 nayo ilanga balibhalela phakathi yona mhlambe date ebhaliwe ke athi date yange-16 zaka June ngomnyaka ka 2020.
And annexure 2 thereof, we have this photograph, which will be the exact same photograph that is displayed here. Annexure 2 of that statement of A154.
Bathi khona ke annexure 2 imibukiso ke khona ngaphakathi A154 futhi isithombe sakhona ke sifana ngamashi nesithombe lesa sikhona ngalana ke.
So I have a similar picture of the picture on the left, my lord, on page 2. I'm not sure if it says annexure 2, but on my...
Oh, so sorry, it says page 2, annexure A, sorry.
Correct, yes. Yes, then we agree. Yes, we have the same picture.
Athi yebo siyavumelana ukuthi sinesithombe sisodwa ke.
And that person of interest that you requested Warrant Officer Steenkamp to compile a further additions of an ID kit was none other than Mr. Ntanzi, is that correct?
That is correct, my lord.
Bathi lo muntu wecele khona ke lapho ke Warrant Officer Steenkamp size amdebeke lapho ke akena ke umuntu kepha ngaphandle kumnumzana uNtanzi akusinjalo yini? Athi yebo kunjalo.
And coincidentally, the 16th of June 2020 is also the date upon which Mr. Ntanzi was arrested, correct?
Bathi ilanga la nge-16 zaka June ka 2020 lona ilanga akwaboshwa ngalo kumnumzana uNtanzi akusinjalo?
Yes, that is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo kunjalo.
And the witness who was involved in the compilation of this identity kit, adding dreadlocks and hoodie, was also the late Mr. Makaleni, correct?
bathi-ke oyena muntu bekakhona elekelela ke lapho thizeni badwebeke lo muntu okhonekela ngalana abambiza ade bethi mhlawumbe umuntu ade bemfuna-ke loyo-ke wasiza ehlangothini noma ithimba labashushisi ke lapho kwathi umnumzana sele washona-ke uMageleni akusinjalo yini?
Yeah, yes. Well, perhaps maybe answer the question, my lord, to say yes, Mr. Mokgoatlheng assisted in the identity kit that we see on the left. However, because this is correct, it's important to put the right context. If you go to page 3 of the same annexure, that statement, then you will see that the facial comparison that Warrant Officer Statecam did, it's not actually the picture that is there. So that was the identity kit that was indeed drawn on the 29th of October 2019. So she took this identity kit, compared it with the picture of accused number 2, and then she came out with this product. So it's different pictures, my lord, if I can show it to the court. So it's 3 different pictures. One in the middle, it was the current picture of accused number 2 at the time of his arrest. Then she took the identity kit of what was in the archives on the 29th of it's in her statement on the 29th of October 2014, and then out of that, in trying to compare or to link accused number 2 with this identity kit, she came out with this end product. So the end product of the exercise of the 16th of June 2020 is not this picture, but rather this particular one.
Athi-ke ufakazi khona-ke iy'thombe ezintathu-ke lapho-ke ezikhona athi oqala yebo uqinisile-ke kepha athi khona-ke iy'thombe ezintathu uma ngaba ngathi ukulekelela-ke inkosi yenkantolo mayelana nodaba lwey'thombe lezi-ke ezintathu-ke lapho-ke athi isithombe saphakathi nendawo-ke kule y'thombe lezi-ke isithombe sakamsolwa osibili-ke ngesikhathi sikaboshwe ngaso-ke abasithatha kuyena-ke athi kepha kuma isithombe sokuqala esikhonakala ngesandla sokudla la ngime khona-ke bathi isithombe lesi-ke wasidweba-ke ngelanga lange-29 zaka-October ngonyaka 2014 ngemuva ukuthi bahlezi phansi-ke noma ngesikhathi ebahlezi phansi nabofakazi abekade bekhona ngaphakathi lela khaya uma bekade bemtshela-ke ngendlela yesikhangiso-ke salo muntu kade wengene wesibili bekahamba nalo kuqala ligila mkhuba ezimbili-ke ezangena ngaphakathi kwaloyo muzi loyana-ke bese-ke wathi isithombe lesi esila egcineni-ke sona-ke isithombe esaphuma ngemuva kokuthi enze uqhathanisa phakathi kwesithombe lesokuqala futhi nalesikhona phakathi nendawo.
Correct, yes.
Just hold it like that so that everybody can see. I'll make it available to the court as well as an exhibit so that we can clear it up. If I understand you, Brigadier, on the left is the original identity kit of the 29th of October 2014, correct?
That is correct, my lord.
Bathi isithombe esikhonakala ehlangothini sokusasana sobunxele ngabe yisona sithombe esadwetshwa-ke esokuqala futhi nesiqiniso ngelanga lange-29 zaka-October ngonyaka 2014 athi ufakazi yebo kuyiqiniso lokho.
And in the middle, it's an extract from the current identity document of Mr. Ntanzi, correct?
Yes, my recollection, my lord, I may be wrong in terms of where it comes from, the ID or a photo, but it came to existence when he was arrested. The picture in the middle. So it could be, in my mind, I think it's the identity document with his picture. But I may be wrong if it's not the identity document, maybe one of his pictures. But I can say it without a shadow of a doubt that it came from him, rather from either the identity document. I want to say the ID document, my lord, contrary to just a picture. After he was arrested, my lord.
Bathi-ke manje usila phakathi-ke phakathi nendawo-ke isithombe esathathwa-ke la-ke yena phakathi kocingo lwakhe-ke athi lapho-ke afuna ukukhuluma into engenaso isiqiniseko esigcwele ngayo-ke ngoba yena-ke ngokucabanga kwakhe mhlawumbe ngokukhumbula komcabango wakhe-ke isithombe lesi-ke saqhamuka kuyena-ke phakathi komazisi wakhe-ke ngesikhathi lesi bekaboshwa noma ngesikhathi lesi waboshwa ngaso.
In fact, let me just confirm with you because I did confirm with Mr. Ntanzi by looking at his ID that, in fact, that picture in the middle is an extract from his current South African identity document.
Athi-ke umele ukhulumisene nomnumzana uNtanzi futhi ngesikhathi bakhulumisana naye futhi nawe usenza isiqiniseko sokuthi isithombe lesi esiphakathi nendawo isithombe ebasithathe ngaphakathi komazisi wakho wala eNingizimu Afrika.
No, I will not dispute that, my lord. Hence I'm saying I think it did indeed. In my mind, it was strongly leaning towards the ID document, my lord.
And then the last picture.
Athi yebo-ke ufakazi ngakhakuphike-ke lokho-ke ukuthi isithombe lesiphakathi nendawo-ke basatha phakathi komazisi wakhe.
And the last picture then will be the identity kit that was now adding the hoodie and the dreadlock hairstyle of the 16th of June 2020 by Warrant Officer Steenkamp, right?
Yes, so the last picture was the editing of what will this person in the middle look like with a hoodie.
Yes.
Yes, that's the essence of it, my lord.
bathi-ke manje isithombe lesogcina-ke isithombe la abasidwebake sebajobela phakathi kusona-ke ihudi futhi nama-dreads-ke athi yebo kunjalo.
Now, I'm not sure whether you are going to leave your stand so that we can deal with these pictures here. The similarities, the resemblance that you talked about, the strong resemblance that you talked about. If we can start first with the identity kit on the left. I'm not sure whether the pointer is available so that you can point to the features that I want you to point at. Or if the mic can move, Brigadier, so that we also...
I can actually see.
Yes.
I don't have a pointer,
Yes.
but yes, I'm able to see the two pictures, and I can answer
Yes.
Mr. Ramsey.
So on the identity kit first, I want you to point out the dreadlock hairstyle that then was transported to the picture of the ID kit of 16 June 2020 on this photo. On the original ID kit, where are the dreadlocks?
Well, what looks like dreadlocks, my lord, I can't say with certainty because, and this point I think it's important to put into perspective, my lord. I will explain it or I'll try to answer the best I can, but the difficulty, and that is the reality of the situation.
Yes.
This is an identity kit.
Yes.
It's in black and white.
Yes.
This is a picture which is in color. So the reflection will never be 100% the same. So I think that should be important because if I was having a picture identikit like this with these color features and having this picture taken from accused number 2 in the same features, I think you'll have a better reflection. But we're talking about two different features of the system that was used to reflect accused number 2.
Kade ecela-ke ummeli kufakazi ukuthi kahle kahle uma ebuka-ke isithombe lesi phecelezi la bakhuluma khona ukuthi kade anama-dreadlock noma isithombe lesi esadwetshwa-ke lapho-ke Warrant Officer Steenkamp ngemuva ukuthi kade atshelwa-ke izisulu ekade zikhona-ke ngaphakathi kolo muzi okade sinekhona ngesigameko ukuthi akasho kahle kahle ukuthi phecelezi kule sithombe lesi ukhethekile-ke ukuthi akuphi-ke ama-dreadlock akade ngikhuluma ngawo-ke athina-ke nonoma engenaso isiqiniseko kepha angasho ukuthi uma ebuka lana-ke kule ndawo lena-ke futhi nangalana-ke angasho ukuthi-ke wona-ke ama-dreads olumlisa okhona kule sithombe lesi-ke kepha akasho ngokugcwele noma akasho ngesiqiniseko malana udaba lolo-ke ngoba athi imbangela yalokho kuwukuthi-ke uma ubuka kule sithombe lesi-ke wasidwebile futhi athina isithombe esathathwa ngumakhalekhukhwini noma ngekhamera asho ukuthi simnyama-ke lesi-ke asifani nalesi esikhona-ke ngalana-ke ngoba athi uma ubuka isithombe lesi esikhona isangeni sokuboleka kade isona sithombe esicace bhanwe isithombe esicace kahle-ke sakamnumzana uNtanzi-ke lesi-ke kepha lezi athi isithombe esadwetshwa-ke lapho.
Yes. But of similarities, my lord, in relation to the question of the 16th of June. So if you look at picture number 3, and I'm standing under correction, my lord, yes, I'm saying the only thing that seems to be coming out is blackish, and hence I can't see all the way to the top. And that's why I'm saying I can't say it because dreadlocks will normally start from the head. I'm unable to see what is contained up there. I only see these black things hanging out, my lord, like this, but I don't see what's happening on the head. But so that's why I'm saying that's the closest inference I can refer to insofar as the dreadlocks are concerned. But in the picture, page 3 of this photo, the product of what Warrant Officer Steenkamp was trying to compare, she does have this picture of accused number 2 does have the black things hanging on both sides, the left and the right hand side, my lord.
Athi-ke lapho-ke imbangela ukuthi angasho ngesiqiniseko esigcwele ukuthi lo muntu onawo ama-dreads esithombe lesi ukuthi ubona lokhuzana inyama ngalana eyehlayo ubuso bomuntu lana amahlangothi omabili lapha-ke futhi esinye isizathu ukuthi lo muntu khona lana ugqoke isigqoko uthi ama-dreads aqala la ekhanda lomuntu bese ayehla-ke eduze ney'ndlebe zakhe kumuntu ukuthi amehlela ngemuva-ke athi sona sizathu senza ukuthi angakhulumi ngokujulile noma ngokuqiniso ekujulile-ke uma ekhuluma ngodaba lama-dreads lokukhona lesithombe lesi-ke futhi abuye akhuluma khona njalo ukuthi mayelana nodaba lwezithombe lezi-ke ezadwetshwa-ke lapho-ke warrant officer Stan Kampo-ke usuthi isithombe lesogcina-ke sesithathu-ke lapho-ke athi uma ngabe ubuka lesithombe lesi-ke ukuya ubona lesogcina-ke lesi ngemuva ukuthi kade ayinesithombe sokuqala lesi wesidwebile ngelanga leli bekahlangene nabo nabofakazi ngemuva ukuthi kushona-ke umufi lapho-ke ngelanga lenge-29 October nyaka 2014 bese uthola isithombe lesi sakamnumzana uNtanzi-ke phakathi komazisi wakhe-ke athi lesi sithombe esikhona legcinini yisona sithombe saqhamuka ngemuva kokuthi ngade aqhathanisa phakathi kwesithombe lesi sakamazisi-ke futhi nesithombe wasidweba-ke ngesikhathi kade senza i-ID kit athi futhi uma ngabe ubuka-ke isithombe lesi-ke lesogcina lesi athi zikhona-ke lezi zinto ezimnyama ezikhona-ke lana-ke lezi ezikhona-ke futhi lesithombe lesi lesi esikhona sadwetshwa-ke ngelanga lange-29 October nyaka 2014 futhi athi yizona izinto athi mhlawumbe-ke zicishe zafana ncamashi uma eyibuka malana nodaba lwalo mlisa okhona phakathi kwalesithombe.
And Brigadier, let me say this. I agree with you. The things that you pointed on the left and the right of the face, that you say inferentially for you, you cannot say with certainty are dreadlocks. I also draw the same inference, and I'll tell you why. The person that described dreadlocks in respect of suspect B, or the second intruder that entered the house, is not any of the persons that were in the house. It's not Tumelo Madala, it's not Zandile Kumalo, the mother, Kelly Kumalo, Mtokozi Sitwala, and Longe Twala. It is the person that was on the outside, the late Makaleni. He's the first person to introduce the concept of suspect B having dreadlocks. Hence, dreadlocks are added on the initial identity kit. Are you agreeing with me?
Athi-ke Brigadier Gilina ngiyakuzwa-ke uma ngabe uthi wena ngekhe usho ngesiqiniseko futhi ngokugcwele ukuthi lo muntu okhona kule sithombe lesi-ke unama-dreads ngoba-ke ukhulume khona njalo inkulumo yaqhamukile kubantu kade bekhona ngaphakathi kuloya muzi ngesikhathi kade kusenzeka-ke udlame lokade lusenzeka futhi noma kade kusenzeka isigameko-ke lapho-ke athi phakathi kwalabantu kade bekhona la ngaphakathi kwalo muzi-ke uma ngasekabala lapho aboTumelo Madlala abolongithwala futhi nabo uTumelo uLongwe uKheli uZandi athi bona-ke abakaze bakhulume ngendaba suspect B usho ukuthi lapho-ke umsolo wakhe wesibili-ke kepha inkulumo yaqhamuka lapho-ke kumnumzana osele washona-ke ade ehlala eduze nalo muzi wesigameko lapho-ke umnumzana uMakaleni bathi uyena-ke uqhamukise udaba lokuthi-ke lo mlisa uthizeni mhlawumbe lesigilamkhuba sesibili-ke kungathiwa washo njalo ukuthi asinawo ama-threats.
Yes, insofar as the dreadlocks introduction, my lord, you will see that in Mr. Makaleni's statements. The people inside the house only do refer to suspect B, but there's no reference to him having dreadlocks, my lord. So I agree in that context, my lord.
Athi yebo ngihambisana-ke nenkulumo yakho mayelana nodaba lokade ulukhulumile ukuthi-ke abantu ade bekhona ngaphakathi kwaleyo muzi loyana-ke abakaze bakhulume lutho-ke mayelana nesigilamkhuba sesibili-ke kepha-ke umuntu owakhuluma ngesigilamkhuba sesibili-ke lapho-ke usele washona-ke lapho umnumzana uMakeleni.
No, it's not what I said. They did speak about the second suspect. What I'm saying, my lord, is that they never, in my recollection, they never made reference of the second suspect having dreadlocks. So you find the introduction of the dreadlocks from the late Mr. Makaleni, but they do mention that there was suspect A and then there was suspect B, the people who were inside the house.
Ngiyaxolisa lapho kunesilungiso nje sikhona-ke lapho-ke athi abantu ade bekhona ngaphakathi kuleya muzi bakhuluma-ke ngesigilamkhuba sesibili noma isigebengu sesibili kepha abakaze bamchaze ngokugcwele ukuthi utshakala kanjani-ke athi kepha isikhangiso salo muntu wesibili-ke siqhamuke ngomnumzana uMakaleni osele washona-ke futhi uyena okhulume olethe indaba yama-dreadlock mayelana nodaba lomsolwa wesibili.
That's my recollection, my lord.
Athi lokho engikukhumbulayo.
And when you were looking at similarities between the two images, you referred and pointed out at the O-type beard on both the images, correct?
Bathi uma ngabe ubuka-ke iy'thombe lezi futhi usenza ukuqhathanisa phakathi kwazo-ke kukhona-ke udaba okhulumile ngalo-ke udaba lwentshebe elawundi ngabe usakhumbula yini lokho-ke?
That is correct, my lord.
Athi yebo ngisakhumbula.
And I take your explanation that although inferentially you can say the ID kit has got dreadlocks, but because of the color of the hoodie inside on the comparison photo, you cannot discern dreadlocks. I'll accept that. Let's look at the difference. The so-called soul patch, you remember I told you about that? That's a beard between the lower lip and the chin. Is it present in both the ID kit and the comparison photo?
Bathi yebo ke ngiyakuvuma ukuthi ukhulumile ngodaba lokuthi ke lo muntu okhona ke lesithombe lesi sadwetshwa ke lapho ke unezinto ngathi mhlawumbe sathi ama-threats ke kuyena ke kepha kusithombe seqiniso lesatholakala phakathi kocingo lwakamnumzana uNtanzi ke awukhulumile ngodaba lama-threats ongabebuka lapho phakathi kwaso ke bathi manje khona ke udaba lwentshebe laba benza ukuthi uswayini intshebe yakhona ke bathi uma ngabe phakathi lesithombe lesi se-ID kit ke ngabe uyayibona yini ke futhi nanombuka lesithombe sakhe seqiniso ngabe ekhona yini?
No, it's not there, my lord, but it needs to be taken into context, as I've said, my lord, that the identification or the similarities, according to my observation, that I see and which I saw back on the 18th of June 2018 when I confronted accused number 2, is based on how in my view, I think it looks like in relation to the identity kit. And now when I was comparing the two photos, I didn't say, my lord, in my evidence in chief that it is in relation to each and every feature that you find on the identity kit and that you will find on the picture depicted on the left. I'm saying if I look at accused number 2, even now before court, and refer the identity kit, for me, there is strong resemblance. And that is not to say now each and every picture, the eyebrows insofar as, because, my lord, one needs to note that it's not a picture, it's not a true reflection, a split reflection that was taken in 2014. It's not a picture. In other words, you don't have a camera image capturing accused number 2 as how we looked on the day of the offense when the state is alleging that he was there. It's an identity kit. Now, next to it, it's not an identity kit. It's a true picture in color of how it looks. So you will not have, that's why I'm saying you have two systems of how accused 2 is reflected. And that is a difficulty if you want to compare a product that is generated from different systems, because the vision this side is not the same exactly as this side, my lord, meaning on the left and the right.
Athi yebo khona ke kunjalo kepha ke uma ngabe sogciniza kabanzi phakathi kwezinto ezifanayo phakathi kwalomuntu noma phakathi kwesithombe salomuntu esadwetshwa lapho bathi abasola abanensolo zokuthi umsola wesibili ke lesi identity kit lapho ke athi nothize kukhona okufanayo kakhulu okugcina ocishe kwafana kakhulu ke phakathi kwesithombe lesi-identity kit futhi nesithombe lesakhe seqiniso ke umnumzana uNtanzi athi kepha khumbula khona zokuthi yena ke kulaqala khona ke ukubona ukuthi umnumzana ngesikhathi bekahlangana naye umnumzana uNtanzi ngelanga la nge-18 zakaJuni ngaka 2020 ke athi kulawo bona khona ukuthi kahle uma ebuka yena mathupha futhi aphinde aqhathanisa phakathi kwesithombe lesikade siphetheke esadwetshwa lapho kwe-officer Steenkamp ngemuva ukuthi bakahlezi nabantu ke bekhona abofakazi laba kade bekhona ngaphakathi kwalakhaya ngelanga lesigameko lapho ke athi bamchaza ngale ndlela abadube ngayo lapho ke kepha athi ngeke akhonqiniza kabanzi kulolu daba lolo ke athi kepha kungakho athize kukhona okukhulu futhi khona ke okuningi okufana ncamashi uma ngabe iqhathanisa phakathi kwezithombe lezi ezimbili kepha athi ukhumbule khona ukuthi isithombe lesingale agqoke khona ke hoodie enombala ke ubomvu futhi nendawo ezimnyama kuyena ke bathi isithombe sakhe seqiniso ke leso ke futhi athi the last aspect
I forgot.
Okay.
No, I forgot. But the last part that I want to indicate, my lord, is that I am not a facial expert. So I will not be able to give facial similarities. I'm simply referring to what I observe, my outside, that when I look at the identity kit and I look at accused number 2, insofar as we started back on the 16th June, this is what the reflection, the feedback I'm getting in terms of what I see on my mind shows me the similarities. But this is not to say I'm making now conclusive findings in terms of the facial features, because I do not have those expertise, my lord. I'm relying on my eyes.
Ukujobela ke lapho ke uyasho khona njalo thina ke akena ke uchwepheshe oqhathanisa phakathi kobuso ke babantu ke lapho ke noma phakathi kwezithombe ke zabantu kepha ke asho njalo ukuthi yena ke inkulumo aqhamuka nayo ukuthi yinto awayithola noma into awayibona ke yena ke mathupha ngelanga la nge-18 zakaJuni ngonyaka 2020 ke ngesikhathi lesi bahlangana ke nomsola wesibili ke futhi ephethe identity kit yakho athi kulawa bayaqhathanisa khona ke wabona ukuthi khona ke okuningi futhi okuningi lokho khona ke kuyafana phakathi kwe-ID kit lekade ayiphetheke nanoma ebuka lapho ke umsola wesibili.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, you see, the reason why, Brigadier, I'm asking you, because we are doing a comparison. You were asked by the state to do that comparison. Now I'm following in their footsteps to confirm or distract from the assertion that there's a resemblance between the ID kit and the control photo, or that is exhibit DDB photo 4. You were made yesterday, and this is the context. You were made yesterday to read a small passage out of context from when I cross-examined Mr. Tumelo Madala, to the effect that I said, and I still stand by that, and I'm going to stand by that, because context is important, and I've said so. When I was cross-examining Tumelo Madala, I said the following. He described that I saw the second suspect, he had an O-type beard, and he had a beard here. He pointed here, right? And when I cross-examined him, and I said, Mr. Ntanzi said, he never had that beard. If you look at that passage that you were meant to read yesterday, I said, Mr. Ntanzi said he never had that beard here. Because I didn't know its name back then. Law don't teach us about different types of beards. They teach us about law. So I said he never had that beard, and he never had the O-type. My statement was in the context of the incident of 26 October 2014, when Mr. Robert Senzo Meiwa was murdered. It was not in the context of 2021, 2020, 2019, 2015. It was within the context of the incident of 26 October. Now the context has been taken out to say, I meant to say, Mr. Ntanzi never had beard, never had the O-type beard his entire life, ever, ever.
That's a good respect. That's what the record reads, man.
Yeah, just read it again so that
it says, Mr. Ramusipili, these are the proceedings of 8 August 2023, page 13, line 14.
Right.
Now, accused number 2 instructs me that he has never had this beard here. In fact, he does not grow on him, and he has never had an O-shaped beard like you say the second suspect had. And furthermore, that he has always kept the goatee, the one that you see here in court, from as long as he can remember. That's what it says, man. Yes. That he never.
Yes. But it was within the context of the dying of Mr. Senzo Meiwa. That is the cross-examination. Not in vacuum. Within the context of the 26/10/2014.
Athi umelike embangela ukuthi akuze lo daba lo ukuthi ke lapho ke khona ke into eyenzakele la izolo phakathi phambi kwenkosi enkantolo ke la kade khona ucela khona ke ufakazi babubhekade yakini ukuthi akenze uqhathanisa phakathi kwezithombe lezi ezimbili ke isithombe esadwetshwa ke lapho ke ngelanga la nge-29 October umnyaka 2014 uma eqhathanisa phakathi kwaso futhi nesithombe lesiqiniso sakamnumzana ke lapho ke uNtanzi ke ukuthi ngabe yini ke into ayibona efana phakathi kwezithombe lezi ezimbili isithombe esadwetshwa ke futhi nesithombe sakhe siqiniso ke lapho ke khona ke inkulumo futhi lapho ke yena ke abayikhuluma ke lapho ke kuTumelo Madlala ke ngesikhathi lesi uTumelo Madlala bekakhona la enkantolo alethe ufakazi bakhe ke lapho ke la wamuza khona ke noma la wamtshela khona ke inkulumo kade iqhamuka lapho kumsola wesibili ke lapho ke inkulumo ukuthi yena ke umsola wesibili uma ikhuluma ngelanga la nge-26 zaka October ngomnyaka 2014 ukuthi yena ke athi yena akaze ke abe nayo ke lentshebe ekhona lana ke sokuthi uswayini ke ngesizulu ngabe ibiza ke bese ngesingisi wathi usol patch lentshebe la phansi la ngaphansi uma ngabuka lapho ngaphansi komlomo ke bese athi yena ke intshebe kade anayo ke lapho ke futhi nalentshebe ekade ku elawo nothi O shape nayo futhi nayo akakaze abe nayo ke kepha intshebe kade anayo ngesikhathi sonke ke umnumzana ke uNtanzi ke ile ntshebe elana ke ngenzansi nje efana nalentshebe yembuzi bayibiza ukuthi igoatee ke leyo ke manje ke ihlangothi ithimba labashushisi zaphakama lapho babobaloyi washo khona njalo ukuthi le nkulumo la akazeke ibekwe ngalendlela leyo ke kepha kumele wabuya futhi waphakama wathi yebo kunjalo ke kungakho wathize yena ke lentshebe elana ke ukuthi uswayini ke lowo ke ukuthi akakaze abe nayo ke kepha wathi ngaphakathi kwala ID kit edotshiwe lana ke intshebe leyo iyajengakala ke iyabonakala ke kepha ke ngale hlangothi lesithombe sakhe siqiniso ke intshebe khona icacile bha bese athi ummeli yena ke udaba khuluma ngalo ke udaba le26 noma izinto noma into yabonwa ke layo ke ngelanga la nge26 zaka October ngomnyaka 2014 abantu ade bekhona lapho ngaphakathi ke athi lenkume bekayibuza lapho kuTumelo Madlala.
So my lord, my understanding, two aspects in that regard. My understanding of what the state put to me with regard to this question was to the extent of saying what is my comment, rather to the point that says comparison. I understand this concept to be different because then it is when you need to have skills to do facial comparison, and that's the feel that I'm saying I do not have, my lord.
Okay. Athi-ke lapho ke uma ngokukhumbula kwakhe nendlela umbuzo athi uqoqhamuke ngakhona ke izolo bekuwukuthi lapho ke ngabe yini ayibonayo phakathi kwale ithombe ezimbili. Athi abakaze bashokele ukuthi akaqhathanise phakathi kwezithombe lezi ezimbili ke ngoba yena ke athi akakufundele uqhathanisa phakathi kwezithombe ke shothi into oqhathanisayo ke umuntu ofunda bese kuba ube uchopheshe ke loyo ke uqhathanisa phakathi kwezinto ezimbili ethi zingabe ziyafana noma ayifani.
Yes, insofar as the resemblance, my lord, that's what I spoke about. Then moving to the second aspect, my lord, insofar as what transpired, the last part of Mr. Ramsepil, unfortunately, I was not in court, so I only read what was brought to me. I can't take it further than that, my lord.
Athi mina nodaba lokufana ke lapho ke ilonto ayikhulumile uthi ngabe yini ayibonayo efanayo ke lapho ke kepha athi mina nodaba unomzana uRamsepil adalibuza ke yena athi ngeshwa ke kade ngekho la ngaphambi kusenkantolo manje ngeke akhona ke uthi akhulume ke ngento angenayo ulwazi layo ke kepha athi khona ke inkulumo kade bemlethele ukuthi mhlambe angaphendula athini ke kuyona.
And also yesterday you pointed at the hoodie in the identity kit and you stated that its color was grey. Did I get you right?
Bathi ke izolo ukhulumile ke ngombala wehoodie noma ingubo egqokiwe lo muntu lokhona kule ithombe lezi ke wathumbula khona kade ugrey athumele ngabe ukuzwe kahle yini.
Yes, I'm referring to what I see, my lord. I was referring to that identity kit because one, for me, in my eyes, it looks great because if one looks at the eyebrows and what is coming out on the side, that is black. So I was referring to what I see. But that, it's not the same when you now go to the description of the hoodie that was given, because if you go to this description of what suspect B was wearing, insofar as Mr. Mokgoatlheng is concerned and Exhibit J of Mr. Steenkamp, he was wearing a black hoodie. That's the description that is given, that he was wearing a black hoodie. And then you will find also, maybe let me just stop here for now, for the interpreter.
Ngiyabonga. Athi ke lapho ke bathi ukhulume ngombala ogrey wehoodie igqoke lo muntu okhona kule sithombe sayididikile esadwetshwa ke lapho ke athi yebo ukhulumile ke ngombala ogrey kuthi ke lesithombe lesiyana lesinambala ke ogrey ke kepha athi uma ibuka le inhlangothi ekhona ngalana kathumala zokwe black usho ukuthi umbala ke umnyama ke noma ibuka futhi ezinye ke indawo usho umbala ke umnyama futhi athi uma ngabe ilandela ke inkulumo eyakhulunywa lapho ke ubaba Makeleni uselo washona ke phaya ekhuluma ku Steenkamp ukuthi umuntu kade ugqoke la what was wearing
a black hoodie
ukuthi ade gqoke ke ihoodie enombala ke omnyama.
Yes. And I was saying, Malet, now that's because now I'm talking about what I'm seeing and what was described insofar as the second suspect is concerned. So you find that with Mr. Mokgoatlheng, but during the course of investigation, that is now in the corroboration aspect, you find in the statement of Mr. Zungu, Constable Zungu, where he says he saw accused number 2 in particular changing from the black hoodie, that is now on the day of the incident at Basutino Hostel, from the black hoodie wearing a grey hoodie. It's contained in his statement where he described. And I'm talking now to the corroboration. But what you see there, in my view, it looks grey. But I'm saying insofar as what was described on the day of the incident is the black hoodie worn by suspect B.
Athi futhi ke ngesikhathi kade senza ukuphina kwecala labo ke lapho kade khona ke inkulumo eqhamuka futhi ehambisana nenkulumo eqhamuka kubufakazi lapho ke athi khona uma icaphula phakathi kwenkulumo athi khona ke lapho ke athi khona ke inkulumo eyakhunywa lapho umnumzana ke uZungu la wathi khona ke yena ke wabona khona kula athi khona wabona khona ke umsola wesibili ke ngesikhathi bekabuya eBasuthuni Hostel ashintsha ingubo ekugqoka kade ayigqokile ke yena ke athi wafika lapho eBasuthuni Hostel wakhumula ingubo kade ayigqokile ihoodie elombala omnyama ke bese ke ngemuva kwalokho washintsha le hoodie leyo ke bese wagqoka ke ihoodie egrey kepha kathi yena kumanje nodabalulo alibona khona ngalana ke athi akaboni umbala omnyama ke ihoodie leli kepha ke ubona ke umbala ogrey uma kade bedweba lapha yana on the system camp.
Yes, my lord, that's my response.
Brigadier, I'm going to request you to do this. When you answer, don't elaborate by giving reference to what other witnesses said that you were not present in court, because we're going to go and read what they said and cross you on that, which is irrelevant for this purpose. Just focus on the short, simple answers on what you can describe in relation to the question asked, because now you are saying you collaborated by going to Zungu. Then I'll say, Zungu, we crossed him and this happened. It's going to take us out of our focus here.
Ecela ke umme ukuthi ze ugqinize ke uma ngabe uphendula ke impendulo yakho kunciphise bese uphendule mana nodaba lwakubuza lona ke kepha ungacaphuli phakathi kwenkulumo ke abanye abantu ufanele ukuthi uzungu okutshela lokhu noma akaza kutshela lokhu ngoba uma ngabe sokukhuluma kanjalo ke athi yena ke uzobuya futhi asho khona ukuthi uzungu uthi wena uzungu akukhuluma lokhu masithese simbuza ke imibuzo ke bese wabuya kuphendula lokhu bese lokho kuyodinga ukuthi thina ke sisihlele emuva ke lapho ke la esothola khona konke lokho kade sicela la phansi la ngaphambi kwengesenkantolo.
No, my lord, I agree. I'll do my best to assist, but I felt that the right context must be put, because remember, my understanding, the question that I'm being referred to insofar as the color of the hoodie, it relates to the identikit that was given on the 29th of October 2014. Now, if I'm to leave it hanging to say, yes, the hoodie is gray, I'm giving the wrong impression to the court, and I'm here to assist the court, because the hoodie, in terms of the color that was given in 2014, is actually black, and that's why I felt I need to put that context proper, that as much as here, based on what I see, it looks gray, but the actual color that was given then, it's actually black, my lord, contrary to the gray that I see. And I'm saying gray, my lord, because it's an identikit. I think Warrant of Steenkamp would have been in a better position whether she regards this as gray or not. Yes. This is just according to my observation, and I might be wrong for that extent, my lord.
Athi nawuzama ukuthi anciphise ke mana uma iphindwa ke impendulo lapho ke kepha kathi uma yena ekhuluma ngento kayibonile mathupha noma into kade bembuza ukuthi ngabe yena yini la ibonayo lapha kanti koludaba lolu lesithombe lesike athi khona ke abofakazi noma umnumzana uMageleni ngesikhathi kade ahlezi phansi lapho nobantu ofasteni kampo umbala wengubo kade gqoke lo muntu wesibili ke lapho ke noma lesigebengu sesibili ke kuukuthi kade gqoke ke lapho lakhe yena ke ingubo noma ihoodie ke nombala ke omnyama ke akaze asho ukuthi kade gqoke lokuzana ihoodie enombala ke ogray athi kepha ke inkulumo ukuthi kade gqoke ihoodie grey yaqhamuka ngemuva ukuthi bakahlezi lapho ke nolokuzana nozungu kade ambuza ke imibuzo lapho futhi naphakathi kwestatement sakhe athi usho ukuthi uzungu akusho lokho ke athi kepha ke umuntu ongabuya esesimeni athi lana ke umbala na ubonayo athi ubona ke umbala ongathi ugrey kepha ke umuntu ongasesimeni sokuthi afike la ngaphambi noma eze la ngaphambi kokusenkantolo besalekelela inkantolo ukuthi kahle kahle uma ngabe ebuke lesithombe lesi sadutshwa lapho ke ngabe lo muntu khona kulesithombe ngabe lo muntu otsangakala kulesithombe lesi ugqoke ingubo enjanje ngokumbala ke lapho ke athola officer Steenkamp ngoba uyena kade adweba ke futhi uyena kongabuye futhi asitshele kabanzi noma ngogcwele ukuthi akahle yena ke lo mbala okhona ngalana ke ngabe umbala ke onjani ugrey noma ngabe umbala omnyama.
Thank you, Brigadier. Now let's leave this, Brigadier. I've exhausted it for the purpose for which it was produced yesterday. Let's go to Exhibit DD4B. That is the 19 photographs that were further downloaded by Warrant Officer Ndlovu.
Yes, I do have them in front of me, my lord.
Yabonga ke ummeli apha acela ukuthi nje simise kancane ngalolu daba lokho sesibuka ngaphakathi kwemibukiso ka Exhibit DD4B ekade ithomanisa kade zilethwe la Warrant Officer Ndlovu.
Now, looking at that exhibit, Exhibit DD4B, just all the pictures, a quick cursory look. Are there pictures that depict Mr. Ntanzi with dreadlocks on those pictures?
Bathi manje uma sobuka phakathi kwezithombe lezi zonkana ekhona ngaphakathi kwemibukiso ka DD4B ngabe ikhona yini isithombe la sitshe atshangala khona kumnumzana Ntanzi enama dreads kena ke ekhanda?
No, my lord.
Athi cha.
And further, looking at the same photos, are there pictures that depict Mr. Ntanzi with the beard that is called a soul patch?
Athi uma ngaba kubuka ke izithombe lezi zonkana ngabe sikhona yini isithombe la kule izithombe lezi ke esikhipha umnumzana uNtanzi enentshele abayibiza ukuthi uswayini?
My Lord, the difficulty I'm going to have to answer that affirmatively or with conclusive answer is that some of the pictures are not clear. For example, if you go to page, others are not clear in terms of the visibility. That's number one. But number two, for example, if you go to page number 8, accused 2 has his hand over his mouth like this. Okay. So where you'll see the sole page, it's covered by his mouth. So the difficulty, it's that I can't say conclusively to say it is not there. All I can say is that I cannot see it, but not because it's not there, simply because some pictures are not visibly enough. And in one picture, like picture number 8, his hand is covering the part where you actually see this type of beard.
Leo kothi kube nzima ukuthi ayiphenduleke ngoba ngaba uma ngabe buka ke ithombe lezi athi ayicacile ba isathi soqala ke ileso athi futhi isathi sesibili ukuthi khona ke isithombe sine lapho ke uma ngabuka lapho ku classless 8 lapho ke lethombe lezi zakhe ke athi khona labe ke khona ke isandla sakhe la umlomeni wakhe ushuthi cishe ovala ke umlomo wakhe ke wonkana athi futhi ushuthi ngendlela beke ngayo isandla sakhe la umlomeni wakhe kula ungeke ukhona ukubona khona ke ukuthi lentshebe kuswayini ngabe unayo yini noma kanayo.
And of the more than 5,000 images that were downloaded by Warrant Officer Ndlovu, are there photos in there of the date of 26th of October 2014 that depict accused, Mr. Ntanzi, with an O-type beard and a soul patch?
Bathi kule thomelezi ezindlule lapho ku 5000 ke download lapho Warrant Officer Ndlovu ke kuzo zonkana engabe sikhona yini isithombe la sitshengisa khona ke umnumzana uNtanzi uma sesimbuka kahle hle kuyithombe lezo zonkana la ave aqhamuka khona kwisithombe leso ka simhlambe unentshebe owuswayini kena ke noma ke intshebe elound like yena.
My Lord, my recollection of that download, it doesn't go to the date of 26 October 2014. So it's not that it's not there, it simply means we don't have the data for that date. That's my recollection of the briefing I got on the downloads.
Athi mana nakutholile ke mana ne report ethola ukuthi abanazo ke ithome zelanga la nge26 October ngomnyaka ka 2014. Athi lokho akukhumbulayo.
Now, based on that answer of the last answer, would you then agree with me that without the contemporaneous photos of 26 October 2014, there is no way to tell the appearance of Mr. Ntanzi, especially pertaining to the O-type beard and the soul patch that was mentioned by the witnesses, especially Tumelo Madala and Ms. Zandile Kumar?
Bathi ngaphandle ukuthi sibe naso ke isithombe sakhe bathi ungakuvuma yini ukuthi ngaphandle ukuthi sibe naso isithombe sakhe kumnumzana uNtanzi ke lapho ke isithombe satshengakala khona ke sangomnyaka 2014 ngelanga la nge26 October uma sesiwa phakathi kwesithombe leso ke uma singenaso isithombe sesimtshengisayo ukuthi kade nentshebe ewuswani la kuyena ke futhi nentshebe ke elound nanoma kade eshiwo lapho ke uTumelo Madlala ke futhi noZandi.
See, my Lord, the difficult I'm going to have to agree with that. It's that I know what is contained in the docket. Because if this was a standalone question and there was nothing else in the investigation that indicates the role played by accused 2, I'll probably agree with Mr. Ramsepile. But sitting with the background of knowing what is contained in the docket insofar as the evidence against number 2, I'm having difficulty to agree with that. Because, for example, we have confessions where he implicates himself and the role that he played. So if I take that into account, how do I then distinguish or remove him from being there? That's why I'm saying it's standalone. Perhaps I may agree, but knowing what I know surrounding the case is difficult to say, because if I say it's difficult, my Lord, because I can't take this question in isolation of what I know that involves accused number 2.
Athi lapho ke uma ngaba kade kubuzo nje lojulile ke kade kubuzo nje oyimele ungakhulumi ngelanga elithize noma ilanga elithize ngelapho ke noma ukhuluma ngelanga noma ungakhulumi ngelanga athi bazokhuluma kophili kumbuzo kepha ke into ethola ukuthi into enze ukuthi kube nzima ukuthi aphenduleke noma avumelane noma ahambisane nenkulumo ekhulunywa ke umeli ukuthi yena ke athi unalo ke idocket la ke yena ke futhi unazo istatement futhi uyazi ukuthi kuyini ebhaliwe phakathi kwestatement ekhona ngaphakathi kwedocket leli analo nana ngaphambi kwakhe athi futhi ke olunye udaba ukuthi ngesikhathi kade bemtshela lokho noma ngesikhathi kade afuna okubhaliwe ngaphakathi kodoketi athi lo muntu bamchaza ngale ndlela ekukuthi yena ke unayo lentshebe eloud ke yena ke futhi lentshebe ekuswayini futhi athi uma ngabe futhi ebheka phakathi kwestatement zalabantu abakhuluma ke lapho ke aboTumelo Madlala ke futhi naloko akubuza ngakho kumele athi lokho kumenza ukuthi abe ngaphansi kwesimo esinzima ukuthi aphendule kuleyo mbuzo.
Brigadier, you went to some length to speak about the involvement of Mr. Ntanzi, your background of knowledge of investigation, confessions. I did not ask on any of those aspects. My question was very simple. You've said the data that was downloaded does not include photos of 26 October 2014. Let's start there, correct?
Bathi wena uzagcina uze ujulile ngesikhathi uphinda umbuzo ngokukhuluma lama confessions la uthi khona kumsola sibili kade ayifaka khona ke udaba loTumelo Madlala ke futhi nalabanye ke akade bekhuluma ke lapho ke manje athi sikhuluma ke ngodaba la nge26 zaka October ngomnyaka 2014.
That is correct, my lord.
Now, sorry. My second question was that, now, would you agree with me that in the absence of photos from 26 October 2014, we wouldn't be able to say what Mr. Ntanzi appeared like in 2014 in respect of the old-type beard and the soul patch? I did not talk about involvement, confession, or anything.
I
mean, the witness did say in isolation, he might incline to agree with Mr. Ramsey, but he said you have to look at the totality of the evidence. He's sitting with the docket. There's a confession, two confessions, wherein accused number 2 implicates himself. He cannot be expected in his answer to divorce his mind from the conspectus of the evidence.
Brigadier, for me, this is a narrow aspect. Let me ask you, the photos in Exhibit DD4B, do you have any idea when they were taken?
athi komele akabuza manje nezithombe esikhona ngaphakathi kwe-exhibit 44B DD4B ukuthi ngabe mhlawumbe unalo yini ulwazi ukuthi bayithubula nini ithombe lezi?
No, I don't, my lord. All I know is that they were not taken on the 26th of October 2014 because I know we don't have that data.
Athi cha anginalokho ulwazi ukuthi anginalo ulwazi lokuthi ithombe lezi bathatha nini ke athi kepha kongikwazi ukuthi ithombe lezi azikaze zithathwe ke ngelanga la nge-26 zaka October ngomnyaka 2014 athi ngoba banazo ithombe zelanga la nge-26 zaka October ngomnyaka ka 2014.
The point really, Brigadier, and I'll assist you. Some of the photos, according to Warrant Officer Ndlovu, they were taken. The first photo was 10 June 2020. Second one was 4 June 2020. The third one, page 3, 12 November 2020. The fourth one, 12 November 2020. I think similarly because this looks like the same picture up to page 6. And then page 7, 6 July 2019. And then the 8th page is 12 July 2019. And subsequent to that, there are no dates because the photos are called what is termed deleted recovered photos. That is, am I not losing you, Mr. Interpreter?
Athi ke umeli ithi akulekelele ngoba umnumzana Warrant Officer Ndlovu khona ke ithomba khulumile ke ngazo la ngaphambi kungusenkantolo ke esikhona ngaphansi kwemibukiso exhibit DD4B ukuthi isithombe soqala ke sikhona ngalapho basithatha ngelanga la nge-10 zaka June ngomnyaka 2020 ke bese sesibili basithatha ngelanga la nge-4 zaka June ngomnyaka 2020 ke bese sesithathu sathatha ngelanga la nge-12 zaka November ngomnyaka 2023 bese ke sinyaka sathatha lapho ngomnyaka lokuzana ka 12 November 2020 ke isinye bese basithatha lapho ke ngelanga la nge-6 zaka July ngomnyaka ka 2019.
Yes, and now I'm saying some of the photos that do not have dates, Warrant Officer Ndlovu stated that they are deleted recovered photos. Therefore, the metadata won't reflect when they were captured because if you for example, remove and insert, the date will change, and if it's a deleted photo, sometimes you can recover the data, sometimes you cannot. So we don't know the dates of those photos.
Bathi khona ke ithombe lapho ezingabhalile amalanga kuzona ke wathi la khona ke umnumzana uRatofisa Ndlovu wakhuluma khona ke ukuthi ezinye zezithombe lezo ke uyile ithombe abayicishe khona mhlawumbe ithombe bayidelethile ngaphakathi kocingo ke bese ezinye ke uma ngabe ukhipha ke umuntu memory card ngaphakathi kocingo noma ngaphakathi cellphone ke lapho ke athi kuva ukuthi mhlawumbe uma usuphinda ubuyisela phakathi memory card lapho ke uma usubheka lapho ilanga lezithombe lapho kathi uvame ukuthi mhlawumbe ungatholi ilanga lezithombe bangeqiniso kepha uthole ke elinye ilanga elihlukile ngaba kusenjalo yini.
I'm listening, my lord.
Okay. So the point really that I'm making is that when we look at photos of 2020, they do not accurately reflect how accused or Mr. Ntanzi looked like in 2014, given the natural growth and potential growth of a person.
Athi ke iphuzo zamkulethela ukuthi ke uma sesibuka ke ithombe zawo zeminyaka ka2020 ke ithombe zikaMnumzana ke uNtanzi azimtshengisi ngendlela adajankala ngayo ke noma ngendlela adabukeka ngayo ke ngomnyaka ka2014 ngoba ke umuntu unako ukushintsha futhi unako ukukhula ke.
My lord, I think it's really a scientific question because
Let's leave that.
Yeah.
Let's leave that.
Athi uthi umbulo ke umbuzo ke ngaphendula ke abantu bendalo ke ushithi abantu beze science.
Okay, cover this one. My lord, if I may be given just to look at my witnesses, my notes. Now, let me sum the sum total of my cross-examination for the purposes of Exhibit DDB 4 and DDB A. I mean, so sorry, DD Exhibit DD4B and DD4A.
Yes, my lord.
Athi kumele qedela ke inkulumo yakhe ngokuqedela mana udaba lwethopi lezikhona ngaphakathi kwimbukiso ka Exhibit DD4A and futhi DD4B.
Accused, why do I say accused? Mr. Ntanzi says he did not have an O-type beard and a soul patch beard on the 26th of October 2014 during or around the period of the occurrence of this incident.
Athi ke lapho komnumzana uNtanzi yathina akaze kabe nayo intshebe ekuswayini ke futhi nentshebe ke elound la ke na ke kule ntshebe la ebusweni kuye kuyena ke ngelanga la nge26 zaka October ngomnyaka ka2014.
No, my lord, obviously I was not there with him in 2014 to see exactly how accused 2 looked like. What I do know is that the second suspect, suspect B, was described as having the soul patch and the O shape, the round, the oval beard shape. That's what was described, my lord. Moving forward in the investigation, evidence was found that links accused number 2 to be the one fitting the description and role played by the second suspect, meaning suspect B.
Athi ke ufakazi angaphendula kanje ke lo mbuzo ukuthi na ke ngelanga la nge26 zaka October ngaka 2014 kade engekho kule ndawo esehlobo ke nokho nesigameko futhi kade engekho naye ke lapho umsolo wesibili umnumzana uNtanzi ke futhi athi ngeke asho ukuthi kade isikhangiso sakhe noma kade ajankala kanjani ke ngelanga la nge26 zaka October ngomnyaka ka2014 kepha athi ngemuva ukuthi babenze ukusesha noma ubenze ukusesha kwicala ke lapho ke athi khona ke ufakazi obaqhamuka lapho ke ade buqhamukile uthi lo mlisa wesibili ke noma lesigila mkhuba sesibili noma lesigebengu sesibili sijankala njengomuntu onjani. Athi kula khona ke wabona khona ke ngemuva ukuthi athole ukuthi lo muntu wesibili ke kade khona lapho ke ukuthi kade enesikhangiso esinjani ke uma abofakazi kade bemchaza ngokusikhangiso sakhe.
And the descriptors that you've just mentioned now, the O-type beard, the soul patch. There was also a description of Mr. Ntanzi having had a gold tooth, and like you stated, we are not going to rehash it. Dr. Tlokwe's report speaks for itself in respect of whether or not Mr. Ntanzi had a golden tooth.
Bathi-ke ngemuva ukuthi udaba okukhulumeke ngaloko lokuthi kade engenayo-ke unalo ulwazi ukuthi kade anayo intshebe elawundi noma kade engenayo futhi nentshebe kade kuswayini-ke. Bathi khona-ke udaba oluqhamukile ukuthi umsolwa wesibili umnumzana uNtanzi ukuthi naye kade enalokho izinyo legolide-ke lapho-ke bese athi ngenana namthatha-ke ngemuva bese namthatha namnikisa kudokotela uHlokwe-ke futhi yena owaqhamuka ney'nhlolo ngemuva ukuthi enzeke iy'nhlolo zakhe-ke ukuthi-ke umsolwa wesibili umnumzana uNtanzi-ke akaze abe nalo izinyo legolide athi futhi ngeke sihambe sibuyele sihlehlele emuva-ke kwelo daba ngoba sibe salidikida lana ngaphambi kwenkosi inkantolo.
Yes, I'm listening, my lord.
Athi yebo ngilalele.
Mr. Ntanzi instructs me to tell you that your so-called strong resemblance of his photo and the ID kit is not as strong as you suggest.
Athi-ke umnumzana uNtanzi atshele ukuthi lokho kulandelayo ukuthi le nto thina-ke ifana into enkulu efana ncamashi kule thombe ezimbili-ke lapho-ke athi cha akukho lokho futhi akufani neze.
My lord, that's my observation, and that's what my observation is telling me.
Athena-ke ufakazi indlela-ke abona ngayo-ke futhi indlela akhuluma ngayo ukuthi yena yinto ayibonayo.
He says that resemblance is not strong because of the following. He has never had dreadlocks, he has never had a soul patch, he has never had a gold tooth.
Athi-ke akutshela ukuthi yena-ke akakaze-ke abe nayo-ke intshebe lena ababiza ukuthi uswayini futhi akaze abe nalo izinyo legolide lapho-ke kuyena-ke futhi akakaze abe nawo-ke ama-dreads.
And I'm saying this, let me qualify before somebody jumps up and down. I'm saying in the context of the commission of this offense on the 26th of October 2014.
Athi kumele ajobeleke inkundla ukuthi ngelanga lange-26 zaka-October ngomnyaka 2014.
My lord, that is why I'm saying, because now we're going to the commission of the offense on the 26th of October 2014, and that is why I said earlier, the difficulty for me to agree with this narrative, this is not standalone evidence that I know we have against accused number 2. So I have to take into account what else do we have that connects accused number 2 to this offense. And if I take that into account, it will be very difficult for me to say it is not him that played the role of suspect B, because all evidence that we collected points to him being the person who was now described as suspect B, and that is a difficult. If it was standalone question, I think then I might have had to concede to the question of Mr. Ramsepile.
Athi-ke lapho-ke akekho ngaphansi kwesimo esikahle sokuthi aphendule kulo mbuzo lo-ke ngoba lo daba olujulile kepha kalunciphile lapho-ke athi futhi nakanalo ulwazi ukuthi ngabe yini eyenzeka ngelanga lange-26 October 2014 ngoba kade angekho-ke lapho-ke athi kepha-ke into abayithulile lapho-ke kuwukuthi kuwufakazi kade buhambisana futhi kade buxhumanisa-ke lapho noma kade buletha-ke lapho-ke eduze-ke umsolwa wesibili-ke athi into awayizwa ngabofakazi leyo ukuthi lo muntu wesibili-ke kade sinjani isikhangiso sakhe nokuthi ajengakala-ke njengomuntu onjani ngelanga leli kade kusenzeka lapho-ke udlame lolu olwenzeka mhlawumbe yebo ngelanga leli okwenzeka ngalo-ke lesehlo lesi.
And before I proceed with my recap, Brigadier, let's quickly go back to, I think, Exhibit DD4 in brackets B. And in particular, let's look at photo 9. Photo 11 is a bit blurry. Photo 9 and 14.
Yes, I have photo 9 and I have photo 14, my lord.
Please talk Mrs. 9 futhi nasitho Mrs. 14 ngaphakathi kwale exhibit DD4B. Atufakazi yabona nasitho Mrs. 9 futhi nasitho Mrs. 14.
Do those photographs depict Mr. Ntanzi with the O-type beard?
Bathi ngabe ithombe lezo zitshengisa umnumzana uNtanzi-ke enentshebe elound la kuyena?
No, my lord, and I think in my evidence in chief I dealt with that part, that in this photo you can see the mustache, the beard at the bottom, but it's not round because there seems to be a gap on the side. So no, it's not an oval beard, my lord.
Athi cha le thombe zakujengakali njengokuthi umnumzana uNtanzi-ke unentshebe elound la kuyena ngoba ukhulumile ukuthi umnumzana uNtanzi unemustache lentshebe lana ngaphezulu komlomo futhi le ntshebe khona la ngezansi njengentshebe yembuzi nje kuphela.
And I think also on photo number 14, I did say that it's not clear enough for me to make a conclusive view that the beard is oval. So this, when I was dealing with these pictures led by the state, I did indicate that, my lord.
athi futhi kwesithungo ses-14 xa ukhulumile ke ngaso naso sokuthi yena ke isithungo sasicacile ibhange ngendlela eqondile eqondakala kahle ke lapho ke athi uma kukhuluma lapho ke manje phecelezi nesithombe lesi noma mathupha nesithombe lesi ke kuukuthi lapho ke akaboni ukuthi umnumzana uNtanzi ke unayo intshebe elawundi ke na ke.
And that's the instructions regarding the O-type beard and the soul patch. I've already placed on record the other denials in my earlier interaction with you on the main case, so I'm not going to repeat those. They stand. Now, the other thing, Brigadier, you were referred to Exhibit J, which is the report and facial identification by Warrant Officer Amanda Yvonne Steenkamp. Remember that?
Athi ke lapho sasikhulumile ke ngezinye ke izinto umnumzana uNtazi bakhuluma ngazo ukuthi yena ke asikho ke futhi kadanga nazo ke lapho ke ngesikhathi athi banaqala ke ngaphansi kwesifungo athi manje ngeke siphinde sibuyele kuzona ke kepha uma sisijobula kudaba lo exhibit J le yabhalwa ke lapho ke uYvonne Amanda Steenkamp ngabe uyakhumbula yini?
I do recall testifying about it, my lord, but I'm not sure if the state referred me to I'm not sure. Look, but what I can say is that yes, I did.
No, you were referred to it today. You read passages from there regarding what Kelly Kumalo said, but also I've taken you through that, Brigadier. I'm not going to regurgitate that. The point really that I want to put, and the reason why you are here now on a second take for me to cross you. An application was made and a passage of my interaction with you on this Exhibit J was used in support of that application. So just 2 points on that, or even one for that matter. Of all the witnesses that were in the house, that is Makumalo, Kelly Kumalo, Zandile Kumalo, Longwe Twala, Tumelo Madlala, and Mtokozisi Twala. Now I'm speaking specifically for the compilation of Exhibit J. Did they provide Warrant Officer Steenkamp with the description of suspect B?
Athi ke umele uma sesikhuluma kodaba lolu ke olukhona ngaphakathi kwenkulumo Exhibit J athi sesile sakhuluma ngalo esikhathini esidlule manje ngeke aphinda abuye agxinize kulona kabanzike lapho ke ngoba wayithola into kodwa afisa ukuyithola ke kepha ukhona ke umbuzo anawo angathanda ukuthi akubuze athi phakathi kwabo bonkana abofakazi kade bakhona kuleli khaya leli la kwaKhumalo oqala uMakhumalo owesibili uKheli Khumalo owesithathu Zandile Khumalo omunye uLongwe Thwala bese uTumelo nomthokozisi athi ngabe labantu laba ngabe bakhuluma yini ngesikhangiso noma ngendlela atshengakala ngayo yini umsolwa wesibili?
Now, my lord, the answer is twofolded. The first part is no, insofar as Exhibit J indicates, but it's twofolded. That's the first part.
Athi lombuzo kombuzo omkhulu futhi ojulile kepha ke uma ngaze angaphendula mara nephuzu loqala ukuthi cha abakaze bakhuluma.
But in my response to that aspect, my lord, is from the time this exhibit was introduced, when I was under cross-examination, not even now, my lord, and also when I dealt with it just now when I was talking to, or rather being cross-examined by Advocate Mnisi, I've said over and over again that people who were inside the house, and I'm not saying only with Advocate Mnisi, I'm saying when I was dealing with this, that the people who were inside the house, as much as Warrant Officer Steenkamp said they did not assist in the identity of accused number 2, or suspect B. But if you go into their statements, which is what we have in the docket, and disclose to the defense, they do describe the second intruder. That is why we have the description of the first intruder and the second intruder, meaning suspect A and suspect B. All that Warrant Officer Steenkamp says is that they did not give her points to draft the identity of the second suspect, but insofar as the description of the second suspect it is contained in their statements, my lord.
Athi-ke kepha-ke uma sesingazi sesingahamba sihambe sibuke kudaba loma statement akhona-ke la ngaphakathi kwedocket. Athi khona la bakhuluma khona-ke abofakazi bonkana laba-ke ngesikhangiso noma ngendlela atshengakala ngayo-ke umsola wesibili. Athi futhi kepha-ke ngeshwana ngebhadi-ke lapho-ke thina-ke ngesikhathi i-warrant officer Steenkamp ade ahlezi phansi nabo-ke athi abakaze bamtshele mayelana namaphuzu athize esikhangiso sakhe-ke umsola wesibili lapho-ke. Athi futhi inkulumo le ekhona ngaphakathi kwale statement sakhe lesi-ke athi nabameli benu-ke bakuthola lokho-ke ukuthi babanikeza la ngaphambi kwenkosi enkantolo ukuthi inkulumo yini le abakhuluma ngayo-ke ofakazi ade bekhona-ke kulela khaya leliyana ngelanga lange-26 zaka-October ngonyaka 2014 uma kade bemtshela noma kade betshela bekhuluma-ke lapho-ke ngesikhangiso salo muntu salesigebengu esesibili esangena ngaphakathi kwalela khaya.
My Lord, at this juncture, I'm going to request that we stop here. My colleagues have just sent me a note that they need to confer with me before I finalize my cross-examination of the brigadier. So I'm going to request that we adjourn until tomorrow. It's almost 20 past minutes.
Uyacela-ke umuntu manje simise manje ngohlelo ukuthi la enkantolo uhlala la enkantolo athi aboza kwabo khona kudaba ongafisa ukudivide naye ngaphambi kokuthi aqedele ukubuza imibuzo kufakazi ubaba uBrigadier Ginyindi.
Are you available tomorrow?
Yes, my lord.
Okay, adjourn until tomorrow.
Asiphakambeni